Sup gamers, it's me, GrumpyKoi, for the upper bracket final of the Premiership qualifiers. Joined with me is Wiethoofd and DuMmTm. How you doing, Dum?
Hello, doing fine. Looking forward to this. Should be a good game from the little bit I do know about these gamers.
Yeah, I'm super excited. So we've got two teams. We've got the now named Velocity EUSports. They were originally BrainSense, and we have the Bus Crew. Now, those who have seen any casts with the Bus Crew and me, everyone knows I'm a little bit of a Bus Crew lover myself. But I think it's going to be a really good game, don't you, Dum?
Yeah, I think this should be really close. They looked really close in the preseason. I did watch quite a few of those games leading into the season. And since then, a few things have changed. Bus Crew finalized the roster. Two of the old players have rejoined since then, because two weren't quite sure yet. One of them isn't here yet. And with that, we can transition pretty quickly into the rosters as well. For the Bus Crew, old returning players, we have Martin on Medic and Jon on Demoman. And they've been the core for the entire offseason, basically. And joining them will be Diox as effectively a sub, since Albert himself isn't here today. And on top of that, we have some more players joining them in terms of Polygon on the Pocket and Tops on the Roaming Soldier.
Yeah, well, Tobbs has been with them in the off season as well. Tobbs has been sticking around.
He was one of the two that wasn't completely sure what he wants to do this season with Albert together. So they didn't play the entire offseason, which certainly didn't help with team cohesion and practice that much for the roster. But they finalized it now, and they've played with it for a couple of weeks or something like that. And most recent pickup on Scout, an A-player bot mode, certainly a name many people have heard of before, has surprisingly low ping to EU, sub 100 most of the time. So that should play decently fine for him. And he's been doing pretty well from what I've seen. And it looks like a pretty solid roster. Like I said, lack of real experience together hurts a little bit, but they'll be getting there, I guess.
Yeah. And then we've got Velocity Esports with Ixi and Crayon picking up the scouts. We have Raf and Olga, which is a French duo that I adore Olga so much. He's such a happy chappy whenever I see him at LANs. As well as Raf, even though he's such a huge guy, he's really lovely. And they have News on the demo and Honey Badger on Med. I found out something very interesting about Honey Badger, though, is I'm actually playing mid with his brother. So I didn't even know that. But
Caster confirmed.
Pardon?
Bias caster. Oh my god.
Sorry, I didn't hear you, buddy. That's all. Bias caster. Yeah, but that's hard because the Bus Crew's here as well. So I'm equally biased for both teams. So doesn't that make me neutral? I guess.
Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, it looks like a strong roster. Obviously, they just got sponsored. Shout out to DreamBoat for helping out there for sure. And yeah, it should be interesting. Just pick up. Let's hope the sponsor curse will not follow them, so they actually win this game. Otherwise, and that leads straight into what the implication is of this game, upper bracket final. The winner of this gets one of the two safe Prem spots. And the loser of that has one more shot in the lore final against professional Disney fangirls later this week, I want to say. Probably tomorrow or the day after, because these players do have to finish this week.
Yeah, but no more talk. We're going to be having the oh no, that was a bit of a fake ready up. But just a quick shout out to the organisation ETF2L for organising the Season 30, and along with STN Trading and Scrap.tf for making us have a prize pool for this season of Prem, which is nice.
Money, and everybody wants a bit of that.
Yeah, it should be really interesting once the season starts. There are some pretty strong teams already confirmed, and we've got these two teams kind of battling out. These are my personal favourites so far during the qualifiers for going forward, but we'll see what happens with Yak and his team, Disney Princess Fangirls. Yeah,
the maps for today are quite the oddballs. You probably won't see too much of that when it comes to map picking going forward from here, because we have Product, Cardinal, and I guess it's pretty standard, but apart from the Product and Cardinal, I wouldn't expect to see that much in terms of map picking, but these guys are keen for Product Cardinal week. They want the upset.
Yeah, it should be quite good. I just want the game to start now. We had a little fakey going on there, but we should have the game starting shortly. Who do you think is going to take this first map then? Quickly.
It's kind of weird because I think they both try to play like in terms of playstyle. It's kind of something that counters each other. Basku plays heavily against the sniper. Like they practice that a lot, as Velocity plays heavily with the sniper, really passive around the Crayon sniper, and that's exactly what we're seeing going into this first mid.
Yeah, they've had Crayon before, and the first mid fight happens. Tobs goes around the backside. He's currently out of the fight though. Yon gets the first pick onto Honey. Crayon down as well. Deox down. News goes down. This is really not good for Velocity. Only Olga and Raf left alive. Olga getting cleaned up by Tobs. Raf in the rafters ends up going down, and that's the first mid, and quite a nice little setup for Bus Crew, really.
Yeah, Basku just straight over the point, no hesitation, sending Solis behind, dealing with the sniper quickly, just what I mentioned. They have a plan of what they want to do once they see a sniper on the field, and it executed here pretty well, getting everything they wanted off the board. They did lose Warten in the process, so it wasn't a flawless mid, but they get the point for now. Pretty much even Ubers, they need to keep themselves safe from the sniper side right now, and Tops is on that duty, but not fast enough, as it seems.
Yeah, he actually gets picked up by Crayon as well as Yon going down. So it's not looking too good for the Bus Crew. Polygon in the background and Martin just backing out through main. And they might be able to get quite a decent hold out of Velocity. They can do some sort of cliff play here, just hold that. But Polygon round the back, distracting 4 players, manages to pick up Crayon as he respawns. So that sniper is out again, and Polygon ends up going down. But he did a lot of work and a lot of distraction plays there, Dum.
Basku so much space, so much time on the point that they want to use, and without the sniper as well, that removes a lot of what Velocity wants to do here in this map. And eventually the Uber gets forced. However, they have advantage, they have the ability to chase, and they need to make use of this. But Martin is weak, but he gets out, so it's a really fortunate situation for the Basku. Despite losing the point, have the ability to repush, and I really like the dynamic of this game so far. Just 2 playstyles that heavily counter each actively all the time.
Yeah. And Tob's looking maybe to do some sort of play off concrete, but nice little hole. Polygon actually goes in. Nice skips off Cliff. He's round the backside, so they're going to have to be really careful. The Uber has come out. Yon going over the top, but so many players bunched up for Velocity. They may be able to actually re-push on this, and they do manage to get Young. Deox goes down as well, not before Crayon and Olga are down, and there's only 2 left for the Bus Crew. Martin and Botmouse, and they have to... Oh no, Botmouse is in. He's actually in, he's taking a lot of damage. He doesn't manage to connect his shots onto Honey, and he ends up going down.
Unfortunately, he was stuck behind after he went in for a new skill, which is nice to have, but given the situation, it didn't help much. They do have a small window here where there's no demo in the field, and they try to make use of the Solis in deep. Everybody just on a point. Raf goes in as well. Shackles Medic away from them though, and Solis need to do something about this, otherwise Velocity can just walk over them.
Yeah, Crayon and Raf actually went down during that, so the rest of Velocity weren't able to capitalise on that, and as Bus Crew actually get the force out of Honey, and they're pushing over point, but they don't manage to pick anyone, so that's a nice kite of the Uber from Bus Crew, and they're looking to come back through concrete, and Tobs above onto Death Pit manages to pick up Olga, not before Raf actually picks up Polygon, and Tobs super low, ends up going down. And this is a good opportunity for Velocity to get some pressure and get the point back for themselves. It's still really close time-wise, Dum.
Yeah, with the sniper on the field, they really just need to get them in an uncomfortable spot, and that happened really quickly. Uber gets forced while still 2 down. Everybody tries to leave, only Ixi can't. Everybody else seems to be safe, and Honey and Co have been really confident to be just able to be safe from these Uber the moment they are behind house, and twice in a row now it's working in their favor. They're still quite a bit away from getting this, but with a sniper on the field, it's never not threatening for Basku to stay near the point.
Yep, and Tobs actually goes over the top, tries to go on, Crowd gets collapsed on by Raf and ends up going down, Bottom Mouse down as well, so this is not Deox getting cleaned up. So much pressure from Velocity, they managed to push them out again into their spawn, and they're going to be able to get another little hold on. They have to play really passively, like you said before, because they've got Crayon on that sniper, they're not going to be able to get much of a forward hold if they had the advantage to do so.
Yeah, and that's the kind of thing that Basku is banking on with the soldiers. As we saw, Tops and Polygon always trying to be on the move, always try to get behind. Polygon again on the move. Last time Tops was predicted pretty quickly, this time not so much. Both get behind. Botmod is moving forward as well. He gets shut down. Deox as well on the flank side, taken down pretty quickly. Disoli still on the move. Polygon taken up by Qualifier. Tops is just stuck behind now. With 3 down. First attempt here to make something happen. Of the Uber Desert is gone. Velocity's time is running down and much shorter, so that Basket Tops dies late behind lines, gets just cleaned up by Olga, who, as we didn't mention yet, but on this map is playing Scout instead of Solly with a sniper. Certainly a viable choice. And this buys Velocity a lot of time until Tops is back up. Only down to 20 seconds now.
Both Ubers are equal. Yon actually goes down to Crayon. Martin ends up using his Uber. They're trying to force out of Honey. Honey milks it really nicely, and they may be able to collapse. They managed to get Deox, and Martin and Botmouse are so far behind. They need to get onto the point, or at least get some time. But Velocity cleaning it up quite nicely. News going down. Martin and Tobbs get cleaned up in the end, and that is the first round of product going to Velocity, Dum.
Yeah, this is such a good game, to be honest, just of how these teams play against each other. Just playstyles that force each other to adapt, to not be able to fall into the same trap every time, which is the Solis just having freedom behind destroying people in terms of what Basket is doing, or the Sniper sideline just destroying them. And we see constant small adaptations here with how they do it, so that makes it really interesting.
Don't count out Raph though, he's a very good roamer and he makes really good decisions. As Honey Longboat, 4 players down, I can't even speak that many players going down for Velocity. Really good mid-fight from Bus Crew. They're pressuring Olga out of last. Only Ixie and Olga are actually up. They're trying to bully Polygon and Deox out of the right-hand side, and they managed to. And even though the rounds, the midpoint's gone to them, they haven't got that good of a forward hold, as Yon actually goes down straight away to Crayon, and they're going to push in from Cliff here.
It is passiveness on Velocity on these midfights, are just holding them back so much. They just get collapsed on time and time again here. And Basco's capitalism over this, but they're trying anyway here on the non-Uber situation. Howard Tops in the back, that's distracting so much. Takes down the sniper, gives them a lot of freedom. Now they're moving forward with the Uber, seeing if they can have a good angle of approach here, seeing them pretty close. They might just be looking forward. Polygon goes weak, but he's not on the Uber. That's Deox's duty, and he takes down News. Well, Ixie's already there. That's 2 down, but that's all they get. Everybody else is safely out of there. They're forward holding a little bit here, but I don't know if that's a great idea against the team coming up on Uber charge.
Yeah, they are really close to their Uber charge, and they've actually come out on Cliff, and it just means that Buzzcrew are really in a not too great of a position. They're really spread out. They're not able to really work with Martin. Martin has only got 40% as they managed to clean up the 60% Uber for Velocity. They're pushing over point. They've bullied Polygon up on Cliff. Deox is the first one to go down to Olga, and it's Polygon may be able to do something. He's onto Crayon. Crayon takes so much damage, but Olga comes back and saves his man.
Yeah, Velocity back on the table here. They are quite on a deficit in terms of time, a whole minute behind, with only a small advantage, so this might not last very long, assuming that Basco has a good plan of how they want to do things. I wouldn't be surprised if it's again double Solis behind, trying to make stuff happen for everybody else to initiate on, but for that they would need to find a good angle of approach that doesn't lend itself to getting shot by Crayon. They're just safely popping onto corner, not taking the risk, taking the fight straight into Velocity.
Yeah, the Uber exchange has happened, and Yon is the first to go down to News. He got disconnected from Martin quite early, and there's a lot of disorganisation from Bus Crew. Tom's getting picked up, Botmouse in the background, 1v1ing Olga. Olga manages to win it with the help of Ixie behind to skewer just in case he loses. And yeah, it's not looking great, not a good push from Bus Crew. Arguably they should have just seen what other things they could have done.
Yeah, they are really afraid of the Crayon Sniper. They don't even need to hit something to be a worry in their mind. They're just safely popping off the corner, which makes their Uber so much worse in terms of time it lasts. And that really shows Martin had to leave super early. They're aggressing just straight over the point with all they have right now, but the Solis are going down early. Wiethoofd finds himself behind. Nobody else gets anywhere, though. Deox cut short with this escape there, and Wiethoofd the only one really contesting them anymore at the point. Eventually cleaned up while everybody else was able to leave, but at this point that really just means Martin stayed alive, which, while important, still means unsuccessful push.
Yeah, and Ubers have equaled out now, and there is another aggress on. Yeah, safety pass. Safety pop again from Martin. Super early. It means that Velocity have such a better Uber right now. Tub's going down. Polygon, so they've lost both their soldiers. They have no spam. News ends up going down, but they need to win this, and they don't have the numbers to do it. Only News down for Velocity. The rest of Bus Crew, ooh, Crayon getting a pick onto Deox, and it means that Yon's gonna have to try and make something happen within the next 30 seconds with the rest of his team, or they've lost another round.
Yeah, Velocity's adaptation in this game so far is quite a bit stronger than Basku's. The Zoddies are significantly less effective now than on the first round, and it really shows. Again, this time they're double teaming onto one player, but still ends up in a trade for them.
Yeah, it's not looking great, and again, players falling down. Olga aggressive onto Martin, and
Jon gets a double kill with his sticks.
Oh,
that's
I didn't
huge.
even see that. That's such a good pick, but Olga manages to pick up Jon from behind. Polygon onto the point, only 10 seconds left, so I think all Polygon and Tobbs can really do is just spam them out and try and hold this as much as possible.
Yeah, but Jon killed the medic, that's such a game changer. This could turn this round completely as long as they can keep this hold up. And they really need to 1 second left, might as well be overtime. They can't lose the point whatsoever.
Early bomb from Polygon onto the combo of Velocity. Ends up getting picked up by Crayon though. Deox on bottom mouse down. Not good. Like you said, they're just feeding. Tobbs going down as well. Only 2 players up. Jon and Martin, they're going to have to use. They've got nothing else they can do, and they have used onto the point. But they're just surrounded by Velocity players. They managed to pick up News with a pan. Jon tries to get away, ends up getting cleaned up by Crayon. Martin down, and that's the second round to Velocity.
Yeah, I think that's something equally sad, so shoutouts to him. Namely, if you die while you have the point, you're bad. And while it's maybe a bit blunt, and a thing that equally certainly would say, Basku made it easy for them here, just everybody jumping in off of an ad situation when they really didn't have to. Just really not playing it safe there, and backfires completely on top of that.
Yep, and as this third mid-fight goes on, Tobbs going behind again. Polygon straight onto Crayon. Tobbs helping out with the cleanup, but he's not needed. He ends up going down to Ixie. Both soldiers down for Bus Crew, but 4 players down for Velocity. Their med went down as well, so Ixie and Olga are all that's left. They should probably look at backing out. Olga wants to stay in. Maybe see if he can do... No, he is backing out now. Ixie there for any aggression onto him, and that's the... I think every mid so far been won.
I think it has to do certainly with the sniper here. Well, Qualifier is certainly delivering, and they certainly adapted to the double solid aggression. They just have the denial on the mid fights to keep everything out of the face with the sniper. And it really shows. Tobbs goes in again, and like I said, also out of the mids, they're dealing much better with the sniper and with the solid, but not on mid, and it shows.
Yeah, but Deox does go down. Raf manages to stay alive by the skin of his teeth. News gets denied by Martin's body, but Martin's now having to deal with Ixie. Ixie manages to take him down. The rest of Velocity are getting onto that point again, and the disorganised Bus Crew need to make something happen, or at least just get a force or a kill onto Honey just to get things back in advantage. Tobbs going down though. Not great. Deox needs to just regroup with his team, otherwise he's just going to overextend way too hard.
Yeah, with 5 up on Uber this ad. Certainly will have to wait a little bit on Basco here to make some play happen. Tobbs up now. Classically, Sackwave is something you can do. Just try to non-Uber approach, force the Uber and try to kite it is something obviously less safe, but if you manage to pull it off, the success is after that is tremendous. So looks like they're just taking the fight here straight to them.
Yep, and there's a lot of aggression onto Olga, but both scouts can't handle him. Polycon's gone over the top, but the Uber has come out of Honey, and they managed to get Olga, but Bottom Mouse going down. Polygon's super weak, ends up going down as well as Jon. He needs to see if he can get out. Ixie manages to clean him, but News is down as well, so both demos down for both teams, but Raf is coming in, helps clean up
the double kill, first of all, he shot onto Martin,
oh my god,
air headshot onto Tobbs. He's delivering so hard, and he needs to. They're playing heavily around the sniper, and he's showing us why.
Yeah. And yeah, they do like going for this cliff push, Bus Crew, but they don't seem to be able to connect anything with it. Polygon's going in quite hard. He manages to get onto Raf, but Jon goes down to a headshot from Longboy, who is actually Crayon, and it's just not looking too great. Ixie is down back into the respawn queue, but not before Polygon and Tobbs do as well. It's just not. It's not great for the bus crew. They're so disorganized. What can they do? What can they adjust to make it work for them?
Big part, as I mentioned, is the Sollies just being shot down so hard, and the sniper sidelines are certainly not favoring them as well. And that's the big problem here. Right now they have set stuff against sniper, but it's exactly that kind of stuff that gets countered here right now from Velocity. That they really just need to have something else with the Sollies in order to get past the sniper sideline.
But it's not looking too great as the Uber exchange has started. So many players disorganized for bus crew once again. Only 20 seconds left versus 2 minutes 24 for the boys in blue. And they're aggressing over the point. They managed to get Olga and News, Raph down as well. But Honey picking up Tobbs with a nice shot onto him with his arrow. And they're managing to get it, but they've only got 5 seconds left. It's not like...
Not a lot of time, but... It might just be helpful enough. They're going pretty far forward here, which obviously on numbers count is not that risk-free, but they're trying anyways. And Olga already taking down Crayon, still sniping even in this sort of situation, which is less common, but it works. Raph uncontested out from the right side, gets a quick kill onto Diox. That helps on the velocity side of things. Even numbers now back again on the field. Eventually Raph gets taken down by just a quick pipe, and kind of stuff Busker is just in dire need of right now.
Yep, and Velocity all bunched up on grass. Yon trying to aggress onto Honey, manages to pick Honey up, so this isn't too bad. News, bit overextended, but nice surf from Yon actually getting himself out of danger. And they managed to pick up News, so this looks good, but Botmouse and Polygon go down to Ixie and Raph. And they just need to hold this now. They know that they haven't got the numbers. The spawn time on product changes depending on if you get the points. 10 if you have, 5 if you don't. So they need to be really careful when they lose players. And the aggression is coming onto Concrete. News going in with a really big bomb. He manages to get the force onto Martin, but Bus Crew only losing Tom. Yon really in quite deep. Could get picked off, but ends up getting away with his life because Olga and Nixie don't want to risk it. And oh, Crayon went down as well, so that's the sniper down. But advantage is now in Honey's hands, so they could maybe do something at the last seconds. Only 60 seconds left to defend for Bus Crew.
Yeah, both teams have enough time to get an Uber, but obviously Honey in the advantage will get much sooner. Raph behind lines is an interesting factor here, to be honest. He could do so much work or just not arrive in time at all. He's coming from clip now, just waddling in, dealing damage to Martin and Polygon, taking a lot of damage to them while everybody else is pushing across the point. They have to keep track of him though, while escaping. And they don't really have the time to do just that.
Yeah, and now they've only got 3 seconds. They've got no one on the point. The Uber has gone. Tobb's gone onto the point just to deny it a little bit. But no, that's the first map. 3-0. I didn't expect it to be so one-sided for product.
Yeah, personally as well. Was certainly interesting. I tried to remember whose map pick was which. I don't remember quite yet.
I think you said first ban was Velocity, so they would have got first pick. No, they would have got second pick.
Let me actually pull up the picture I had with
okay.
bans, so I know for sure, because this could be having some heavy implications for the second map. I think it was Basco picking this, and like I mentioned, they have planned out stuff for the sniper matchup here, but didn't work out too well, so that makes you kind of worried about the second map, which is Cardinal, a new map, but at the same time, if they weren't at least confident enough to play at some point, then they would have certainly banned it and not Process, which was their ban. So all the popular maps today banned instead of the less popular ones, which is uncommon to say the least.
Yeah, well, we've got some logs on the stream if you're ready to get onto that, DuMmTm.
Sure. Let's see.
Well, from the looks of it, Ixie and Olga doing a lot of work, cleaning up a lot of kills. Look at their KDA, 4.7 and 4.6. Done really... I noticed that a lot. Both Ixie and Olga did so much work. Like, Olga's no stranger to playing Scout. Like, that's pretty much what I've seen him mainly play. So he should be really, really comfortable on a map like Product where he has to off-class onto Scout. And it kind of shows. They were all over... Bus Crew, and they were just denying Polygon and Tobbs all the time, as every time they went to go on to Crayon, they were just denied. It was quite impressive.
Yeah, the Nile by these two was really strong, and it kind of shows a difference in playstyle. Hit scan heavy on velocity, just the scouts doing a lot, obviously heavily relying on Crayon just being, at the very least, a sideline that is just not able to be crossed safely. At best, he's just popping off and killing things quickly. And that certainly happened at times where Spasku heavily relied on the Solis and at times also Yon to do a lot of the work, which kind of contrasted each other. And on a map like Product, the former certainly is a little bit favored, and Velocity shows us quite confidently why.
Alongside that, if we look at obviously damage, Ixie, Yon actually doing a lot of work. I did notice that. News not doing too much in the realms of damage compared to the other demo, but I can imagine with someone like News, he was probably just commanding his team left, right, and center to do all little things. But alongside that, like, there's nothing really else to glean. Like, it's really hard to glean a lot from a 3-0. Like, you can see where there was, especially
you can't
when
just
you look
get
at
so
kills.
much from a log anyway, and if it's like a confident like win without losing a round, then I mean that's basically all you can get from it. Just one team being ahead, and which player had the most like physical impact in terms of like stats. And we have a little bit of that again, just the comparison stat obviously heavily skewed towards the blue scouts, obviously. And here we have some heal stats as well, if it's interesting to anyone. Let me see if there's actually anything amazing in here. I think the only thing to get away from this is the difference between average time before using, which certainly had to do with how skewed this game was towards velocity. They didn't need to use every time they had, whereas Martin and Co. found themselves on the back foot a lot more, so their average time before using is much, much shorter because they always had the clock against them. They needed to make use of these Ubers quickly, whereas velocity could just hold onto it, play the time, and use only when needed. And like the 3 times difference here between the average time before using, well, almost 3 times at least, certainly shows that quite a bit.
But yeah, well, I doubt there's much more we can really glean from the logs there. We are on to the next map, which is CP Cardinal, which is new in the rotation of this season of ETF2L, and it's had a few sort of play tests and games, especially the Meet Your Map Cups with hosted by Beta. They were set up, and we got a bit of a feel for the map. Is there anything sort of strategies you've noticed from teams, Dum? Anything that seems to work and seems to really kind of set teams apart from other teams?
It's kind of weird because like a lot of teams try a lot of different things. Obviously, the map is new; everybody's trying things out. Some teams favor pushing from left on last over the like high ground kind of thing. A lot of teams, I think, the slight majority, favor pushing right side at the moment because it's just like straightforward entry in and that sort of deal. The lower X entry, the shutter door, is pretty rare to be seen used for a last push, and really just is a huge like thing in your mind that you have to keep track of when it comes to backcamps later on when you're trying to push out. Push outs are kind of similar in the sense to Snakewater, that the spawn times always favor the attacking team, and if you don't have enough advantages pushing out of last, the spawners can easily collapse onto you. Much like on Snakewater, where a lot of people intentionally do stuff that baits people into a second push. So that's a thing. The mid-second stalemate is weird. I think that's people's biggest concern at the moment, because it's just such a wide area that you need to keep track of, that it's really hard to define where you want to hold and which way you do it. So a lot of the times, these sort of stalemates here come down to just people finding the right fight to take, the right 2v1 effectively, to bait out and get victorious in, to get a player app and make use of that going into mid or second depending on where you are. What in terms of mid fights, I've seen a couple of different things. DuMmTm can go fast, but I don't think you have enough time to really get a huge amount of work done if you're going fast as DuMmTm. I could be wrong. I've heard people say that there's a way you can do it. From what I've seen, I can't say I've seen it too successfully yet. There's a couple of other things. Scouts obviously have a decent time denying people on this mid, and a lot of people therefore favor just flanking around. And from what I've seen today and yesterday as well, was that Velocity has a lot of problems with dealing with flanking soldiers on these mid-fights against teams that heavily favor that. So that could be something to watch out for, maybe for Basku to try and do, and for Velocity always, obviously, to keep track of.
Yeah, I'm just alongside that, I'm really interested in how the mids are going to play out, because we've seen it's all about getting over those little canopies over the center point. There's a lot of play around there, as well as just abusing as much of the high ground as possible. A lot of teams like to play around their fountains, I've seen, but I don't know how these guys will want to take it.
It will certainly be interesting. I've just watched Velocity play a little bit here, so I've seen a bit of their mids, and it certainly wasn't their strongest suit. Also, I looked up the map picks again, and this was Basku's pick for sure. So, after how product went, they definitely need a confident map pick, and if they have better mids than Velocity, which, in all fairness to their abilities, is still certainly possible, unfortunately for them, then they have a really good time here.
And we're going to be getting into the second map of this upper bracket final for Season 30 Premiership. The winner obviously goes through to the Premiership of Season 30. We have the Bus Crew versus Velocity EUSports. Velocity EUSports have one map. The organisation is sponsored by, the event is sponsored by SCN Trading and Scrap.tf.
They just realised they haven't changed the config yet, so no time limit.
No. Okay, so I'm not going to say all that again. They're playing games, they're going to shoot each other, and you're going to like it. Okay, let's go.
There we go, 30 seconds time, and they can actually play video games now. Also, big props to Crayon for being the only one without a Velocity profile picture. Instead, he has a dog.
I have disconnected from the game, so you should probably take over for a second.
I see News being kind of sticked off by Yon quite a bit here early on the mid-fight. Everybody arrives now, News obviously quite a bit weaker. Solis go straight in for the Basket, trying to get a lot of damage done, and they do just that. Hops get shut down, Polygon just kind of finds himself behind them. Basku over the point, taking the initiative, trying to finish off what the Solis started, and they're doing a decent job of that. There comes the follow-up, Crayon, last survivor. Big mid-win for the Basku, and maybe not the sneaky Solis that are winning them the mid-fight like I mentioned, but Solis definitely put up a huge amount of damage here.
Well, one thing I've noticed with the Bus Crew is I think they've won every mid so far, so all the mids on product, and they've won this mid, so hopefully with the 5 CP they can use their aggression to their advantage, because it does seem like they want to play as a much more aggressive team than Velocity, so this may favour them more, and they are going up this right side, looking to get set up to go in. It's a nice little 70% Uber ad. They've got the sentry is up on Ixie, but no. Oh yeah, sorry. Crayon is also on.
Sticky Trap by Yon takes out Yon in
News.
What can be called lobby, I guess.
News took down Yon, by the way.
Sticky Trap takes them out. That wastes so much time, and Busk is aware that they still try to do something here at the Pyro.
Oh,
just a nice Polygon completely. We are still trades with him in the end, despite all of these efforts. New is actually hitting the final blow there, so both losing one. Bot mode goes in as well, just trying to feel out the situation. Not sure why though. Probably going sniper. In these situations, that's kind of what tends to be the case. Nice little snake water as sentry spot just behind the crate. Kind of what we're used to from that map. The hold continues, and yes, bot mode did go sniper in fact, so that's what they're relying on for a stalemate, which isn't necessarily too surprising for just about any map. So that's what we're dealing with right now. Basku trying to get American Sniper onto a sideline that can get some nice results.
Yeah, the thing with Bus Crew is they've lost all their momentum, so they probably felt really good taking that mid, but now they're going to have to kind of fill things out, spot where Honey currently is, and just work around that. They're gonna spam out the dispenser maybe, because from the looks of it, Ixie set that up in quite a nice defensive way. That means that if there's any peek over that top area, it's actually going to be denied, which is I hope is
so much denial to the snipers who had bot going incredibly weak there for a little bit.
But it's pretty stalemate at the moment. There's nothing really either team can do. Someone just needs to make a play or make something happen. But
yeah,
I think
it's kind of interesting how the team that refused to play Sniper on Product instantly resorts to it for last push here on 5 CP. And it's not gotten too many results out of Kingdom. Bot mode is certainly capable with Sniper. It's just a matter of getting a good sight idea on. And against a good last hold, that just can't be allowed to happen too easily. So they're struggling to find this peak they want. See if he can do it eventually. He's trying, he's rotating, he gets Olga, that's a start, that's a solid pick. That's obviously not a game winner by itself, but they can try to extend on that.
Yeah, but
News with the sticky trap, they try to just bust through the door to get the news kill, but a little bit too over-eager. Bot mode dies, as well as Tops, 2 down. Suddenly things are a little bit turned around. Spawner up again, Olga back on the field, so looking a little bit brighter. But again, spawn times are not that terrible for the team on second here, so unless Velocity has something amazing on the table, it will still be a tough pusher. Then Crayon is just trying to get behind, and that didn't last too long. Gets shut down pretty quickly by the Polygon, and with that, they want to move back again. And only thing that really happened with that is some sticky traps by News.
But the Crayon push wasn't too great, but the bot mouse looking for a way in. But Tobbs gets caught out. Raph manages to pick him up. They're in a position where they're getting closer and closer, further forward Velocity, and they may be able to actually make something. They just need a second pick, and I think Busker are very aware of that, so they are holding quite far back.
The problem with that idea, though, is that the sideline on second into like anything trying to get into second from last is really generous to the team that is already on second. So even if they get in there slowly, once they're there, they can't play slow anymore. The sideline is just not favoring them, and they kind of realize that by now. They switched Ixie to Sniper, and Crayon as well on his main on Spy right now, checking stuff, not really committing to anything just yet, seeing if there's anything on the table, and they realize there's no Sniper on the field anymore, most likely. Yeah, he's double checking as well.
But Polygon has got the conch, which means that they have got a bit of extra movement speed to go in, as well as the heals, so they could use that for an exchange and then a post-Uber push. But
well,
Polygon
he needs
has
to have
set
it
up
ready yet, and he does actually. 480 damage, I think, is what you need for that. So he got that some time, but not trying with it and push pop the Uber as well. Makes a path like the health regen pretty much doesn't matter at this point anymore. Can they
managed to pick up? They managed to pick up Raph, and they're going on to the Crayon. Crayon goes down, so they've got a 2-player lead. Never mind, that's gone.
But the Uber hasn't been popped yet by Honey.
Oh, he's still got his Uber, so he's held that really well. So that means that they need to either get in, make something happen, or reset everything. There's no real... Yeah, no, they need to get out now. If they stay in much longer, they're going to get collapsed on by the respawners.
That's the kind of banner pop that I really don't like, because it's just like overlapping a banner with an Uber and basically just denying half of what the banner is for, namely the health regen in this case. And yes, you're fast on your Uber, but it could do so much more if just used like after each other and to greater effect. Like going for an exchange first and then using it or something like that, but it just popped both at the same time and it just really doesn't do anything.
But Tubbs is actually on the spy, so we may be able to see a sneaky spy play going on. But he's looking for an opportunity to go in. Obviously, he needs someone to open that shutter for him. But otherwise, obviously, that's going to be super obvious. But bot mouse goes down. Raph gets picked up though, so there is a bit of an exchange. They don't know there's spies up for Tubbs yet, so they think that there's a lot more players than there is. Like, if they know that Tubbs is a spy though, they can push on it.
Yeah, this is such a weird situation for them to be in right now. Polygon still opting for the banner, but obviously they need something more effective than that. We see Olga on the battalions that needs, I think, 20% more damage dealt than the conch to be ready, so 600 damage. So if he hadn't had it ready yet, then he needs to for some damage. And unlike the conch, it gives you 30% damage resistance, which is nice to have, and some sentry damage resistance, so it won't come into play here, but still nice to have nonetheless. So nice little defense boost to just help your way to survive things. Tops on Spy, in the meantime, not caring for any of these shenanigans, just trying to get some sneaky kill onto Honey, but getting to him on the high ground there will be a little bit tough without getting spotted.
Yep, and Tobbs just kind of sneaking around, not able to do anything. I think Busker are just waiting for that pick from Tobbs. He's able to give them information as well, so they should be able to spot where the sentry gun is if they need to push in afterwards. But it's still so stalematy. Like we're at
Basku, despite it being their pick, certainly struggle to create anything for these last pushes, and it just shows they have no clue how to approach this. And Velocity has nothing to push out. You can't really blame Velocity in this situation. They have just nothing good to actually make push out with. Diox just taking initiative here, pushing over sticky trap, getting killed, walking straight over Ixie, wanting some more of that. Doesn't end well for
Oh, Honey went down!
The bait, just getting Honey in a slightly worse position with everybody distracted, and the sideline pays off immediately. Tobbs gets the pick as well on the sniper. That should be around news as well. Pistol down. Tobbs delivering.
Yeah, they need to go in.
Now.
Yeah, they've got Uber, they've got everything they need. They go in, they see the sentry gun ends up going down. Honey is back, but that is the first round of this map going to Bus Crew, finally.
Patience paid off eventually.
Really, really good there, Dum, from Diox just to take the initiative.
Yeah, like the combined play there was really nice, and everything the Tobbs did was just like a tombstone on the grave, basically.
And we are coming on to the second mid, and it does look like Yon's a little bit quicker than News. Yeah, just a little bit. He manages to get some early damage onto News, and the rest of the team has joined, as well as Velocity are in. Double bomb coming out of Polygon and Tobbs, but Polygon actually going down, bot mode down, but 3 players just all went down for Velocity. There's the 4th, and they lost the mid again. There's a lot of chase going on from Tobbs. He's on to Honey and Raph. Diox there as well, but Tobbs ends up going down, but not before Honey gets the exchange. Raph goes down as well, and yeah, Bus Crew should be really happy with that mid.
Yeah, certainly went quite the way they wanted to with the damage here, and the chase really successful in the end. Really important in a lot of situations, since now they have themselves the same situation they almost had last time, if not for Yon dying really late, which is huge bad for last. They do have lost some players, so they need to wait for those for a great push, but that shouldn't be too much of a concern. They have the time to wait for them on second while capping that up. Nothing much Velocity can do about that. They're just setting up for the defense once again after these unsuccessful mid fights, and history might just repeat itself, except this time we might be going about these things a lot faster.
Yep, and they are looking to try and get into Shutter. Martin's ahead and ends up getting forced by the sentry gun. They're going to focus that down as Crayon sentry gun goes down. Yon doing a lot of spam over the top of the point. Ixie, Raph going in though. Really nice. Displaces Yon, but Raph ends up going down. Bot mode and Diox are down. Polygon with a nice bomb. But Martin, Diox actually get cleaned up by Olga. So much happened, and it ends up being a Velocity over the top.
Yeah, Buster's Uber just ever so slightly too fast to be really able to get really deep in with invincibility and get like safe picks with that. So Uber faded too quickly for them to actually do much with it. Unfortunately, people died in a huge fight after that, where they really didn't have much of a focus and lots of trading. And that's exactly what I meant. Velocity takes the point, but the spawns are just there for Basku already. News not able to leave in time. Everybody had not even really there to begin with, and quick retake with a demo pick. They want to try to go with this.
Yeah, really good aggression out of the Bus Crew. They managed to pick up Raph. That's one spam player out of the mix. Crayon on that heavy though, doing a lot of work. Pootis is out and takes down Tobbs. Diox is lower below, just dealing some damage onto Crayon, but they can use that screen to defend them. Ixie over the point though, deals so much damage. Everyone ends up going down. Only Martin left, and that was a good little hold from Crayon.
Yeah, just that big focus fire is missing once again, just like last time, and Velocity is capitalizing off of that so much in return. This time having a much better opportunity to take second here. Bosco obviously still on the radar, they're just hanging out in choke right now. But how much can he do in Mark? Says he can do quite a lot with the arrows here taking some out, but I don't think that's enough. But they're trying anyway, maybe it is.
Velocity's absolutely cornered and Polygon gets the force. That was a really nice play, but Martin's still on his Uber, ends up doing the exchange with Diox. They're on to Honey Badger. Honey Badger trying to get out. He's done a lot of work just delaying that, but Ixie's super low, but takes down bot mode. News actually went down. I didn't see that, but I think he went down to Tobbs. And Ixie round the backside, on to Diox and Martin. Raph joining them, dealing a lot of damage onto Diox, even though both of them end up going down. Only Olga left in the area. And Bus Crew survived that with all but bot mode up, and they're ready to take the second point.
Yeah, that was a smart contest with the whole Uber exchange going on there, and eventually they just found themselves in a situation where they really just needed to keep Martin alive, so they did the right thing, just backing off, letting people come to them, not take the risk of having Martin be a wide open target. So standing back and choke, waiting for people to come. Olga went down with it, second has been retaken, and a smart little play there by Basku get themselves into a position where they can't just push last again, but with add on top of that. So once again a great opportunity.
Yeah, and they're going in right, much later Uber, which is going to favour them. They've just found the sentry gun, so they're going to start spamming that down. They've got so much time on the point. Raph actually jumps over the top onto the point, ends up going down, not before dealing some damage, and the Bus Crew not able to finish this off. Again, the focus fire is not great from them. Tob's going down, and Olga actually on the pyro, and only Martin left alive. Another failed push from the Bus Crew.
Yeah, they had such a good start to this. Just parked themselves on a point, Ubered people, and at least one person capping, so nothing much the other team could do about that. But once the Uber faded, they just left the point and didn't opt for the classic bait the point and bait people on it kind of deal. So it just gave up so much potential easy damage there.
Yeah, but they lose 2 players on their
Huge
initiation onto mid.
Tops all go behind.
Olga though picks up Yon. That is the demo down. But oh, there's a back cap.
And there's nothing they can do about it anymore. Botbot is already on the way to last. Ixie will spawn. It all comes to that, unless anybody can catch up with them fast enough.
Yeah, the 1v1 between Ixie.
Ixie just needs to waste time to keep it alive, and he doesn't waste any time doing that. He gets botbot himself.
But yeah, everyone nice and healthy. Honey ended up using Uber during that, I guess. Otherwise, I don't know why he'd be out that dissad.
Like the prime situation you want to have here. Just have a backup that gets you more than one thing. Forces the enemy team to make a bad decision. In this case, leave with an Uber that has to be popped to even survive in the first place by Honey. So, prime example of a good backup here. Even if it didn't win a round, it might in the long run here.
Yeah, and they're going to go in from the right again. They do bomb in. The sentry is up on Ixie and Crayon as the movable sentry, that is, the heavy. But again, the focus is not too great. Polygon goes over the top, tries to deal damage onto Crayon. Crayon eventually goes down, but not before Tobbs and Polygon are down as well. And Yon just... oh, he's stuck behind. There's nothing he can really do. Olga ends up cleaning him up. And again, another failed push by the Bus Crew.
They're just lacking the damage, and it's really unfortunate. Like, they have these good opportunities time and time again. They just needed like 2 miracle plays on top of each other to get the first one on the board in the first place. Big contest here by the Bus Crew now for second, and they don't want to give this up. They've seen how it works last time. They're trying once again. Polygon trades with Looster. Decent pick, as long as you can keep your numbers up. Uber gets popped by Honey to get them out of here, but the question is if that's worth it in the long run, seeing as Martin now has a nice little advantage for potential repush here. And they're still 2 down, so they already have the numbers at, so they don't necessarily need to wait a long time here to push in first place.
Also, Beta hit me up. Anyway, carrying on, we have yeah, Bus Crew pushing back in. Tobbs in really deep, pushing out the rest of the team. They're going to get second for this, and it's looking like another good opportunity. Again, 60% ad for the Bus Crew. They're going for... they should change things up. They should look for a different push, because this isn't working. They're getting countered every time. Crayon repositioned his sentry. That goes down a lot quicker this time, so that could be something for them. Raph round the backside, end up going down. Crayon on that heavy though again. Just jumps onto the point, kills a few Bus Crew players, and only Crayon and Ixie left. They managed to pick it up, and actually they managed to win this push.
Eventually it took them a lot of work to make it happen though. Sentry going down definitely helped quite a bit, and eventually they just had enough people and standing to actually overcome a heavy, which was the final burden a lot of the times here. So 2 up now for Bus Crew, and these mid fights have already gone consistently their way. In the first round lasted pretty much exactly 10 minutes, so this is getting sketchy territory for Velocity already with just after halftime.
Yep, and as we're on to this third mid, again, news looked a little slower. The double bomb hasn't come out, but Polygon is behind. As the rest of Velocity are looking to clean up some players. Deox spot mode going down. Raf onto Yon. Martin needs to be really careful. He's in a good place. One more direct or splash and he's down. Honey low as well though, so both teams took some losses. 3 for 3. News ends up going down to a rocket from Polygon. They've got the player advantage. I think they're going to win this. Oh, Honey goes down. Not a good mid for Velocity, and Bus Crew takes it again.
Really unfortunately lost there in the end. Honey not finding News early enough to heat him up. Oh, the jump comes in, gets the force, big by Olga, still up, that heat up by Yon. That is such a game-saving play potentially, seeing as otherwise they would find themselves in the same situation for a third time in a row after these unsuccessful mid-fights.
And Velocity, I think, want to defend second off this, and that's exactly what they're doing. They push out Polygon straight away. Deox looking to aggress onto News, but Raf goes in to try and clean that up. But Bus Crew over the top of the point, dealing a lot of damage. Ixie goes down to Yon. He's been doing a lot of work this game, and again, Tobbs goes in with a nice bomb. Oh my god, Tobbs! That
was huge, and bot
so much damage.
A quick follow-up, huge jump, just straight into everybody. No fear, dealing huge amount of damage. Even if he didn't kill anything, he dealt enough damage that everybody could clean up easily, and that's exactly what they did with the remaining players. Straight into last, no time wasted. 3-0 Bus Crew.
Yeah, much more convincing from the Bus Crew here. It's like a polar opposite of what happened before.
Yeah, and last time was arguably one of the closer mid-fights we had. Unfortunately, he still lost by Velocity. So they need to figure out what goes wrong to have this slight little advantage here. Otherwise, Bus Crew might just be running away with it already.
Yeah, and both demos, have a bit of a fight, but News needs to rework his rollout. Polygon, nice high bomb just to deal some damage onto the team, but the aggression is coming out of Velocity. Tobbs really high. Oh, sinks onto News. News ends up going down. Raf getting cleaned up by Martin. 3 players down. Ixie's so close, so low. Only Crayon and Ixie left with Honey. Honey's all on his own behind his team. Deox not wanting to take the 1v1. Honey ends up just killing himself, and that's another mid. That's 4 for 4 for Bus Crew.
Where's this coordination on Lars? These mid fights are going so well. Tobbs is doing so much work, even just on second right now. And on this mid again, just doing so much work. And everybody's just on the case the moment he deals like a rocket damage to follow up on everything. People just die all over the place for Velocity once Tobbs is in the air. And they're missing just that like bit of coordination for these last pushes. Otherwise, this might already have been over by now.
Yeah, and they're looking to set up. They've got a nice 80% Uber ad, so they're probably going to go for the same push they always have. It's worked, what, 20% of the time? But
it did work, so yeah. That's what they need to keep in mind.
Yeah, as long as it worked once, but Yon way too far forward. That was really bad, losing their demo so early in the fight. That sentry gun is still up. They end up dropping it out, but
yeah, that sentry gun was pretty big. They had no idea where it was, and they just blindly jumped in. And it's the same story with every map. If you don't know where the sentry is, it probably will come back to haunt you later on.
Honey is so low though. Honey will get. Oh my god!
What a use! Gets around the wall quickly enough, but everybody's spamming his way. He needs to be so careful.
That surf from Honey though to get on top of that little fence was so good. He denied Polygon so well, and Bot Mode wants to just WM one in. He manages to pick up News, but not onto Honey. Gets cleaned up in the end, and the Uber has come out. Olga dealing a huge amount of damage with Ixie following. Can Raf get in behind? No. Oh, they didn't even cap second.
Yeah, it was really weird. Raf had trouble fighting Tobbs on the left side the entire time while this happened. Nobody of them died. Eventually, obviously, all went back to deal with that and get the point. But at the expense of an Uber charge, obviously not quite worth it. Bus Crew now trying to recontest into the second point with an Uber charge obviously heavily favored towards them. The question is, what can Velocity do to have anything to say about this situation? Raf is really far in, maybe even behind at this point. Gets spotted eventually, and people are just focusing it on really quickly. Polygon with a nice little rocket to take him out, and on one down and this ad, Velocity has no more say on this.
Yeah, this is a really good opportunity for the Bus Crew to, again, they probably, this is where, and we spoke about this earlier, maybe sacking in Polygon for a force if they think they're close. They know they have a little ad, but that's exactly what they're going to try and do. Sack Polygon in. Hopefully when he comes back he's going to be on some sort of banner, and they're probably going to do, I hope, my hope is an exchange into a post-Uber push, but I think Velocity have something else to say about that as they do go in. They're taking a lot of spam though. Yon behind, it ends up going down. The exchange happens, but they did lose their demo. But bot mode wants to go behind even harder. Olga on the last part of the Uber, but News going down. Bot mode overstaying his welcome, but Toms was behind. Toms is behind, and oh, that was so close. That's ridiculous. Martin on his own, just trying to do something, gets a saw, but it matters for naught. And Yon, huge amount. Oh my! This is ridiculous. Yon, Toms joining Yon there. Yon just staying in.
That is the fight Yon would be staying in for. That is such a young thing to do. He doesn't care. He wants kills, and he doesn't get any of them. But you can't say he didn't try.
Yeah, Yon, such an aggressive player, my god.
With the demo down, Velocity has a lot of freedom to take things here. No sticky traps to worry about, no extra damage in terms of spam with pipes and the like, so the super advantage will just get carried into mid, and potentially even further if they don't get forced here.
Yeah, and they are coming in. They've got a lot of space. They know they got the Uber ad. I think this is the first time we've seen Velocity into the second and on to last. And Raf goes in quite deep onto Polygon, but ends up backing up. News super low. Raf only on 18 health at the end of that exchange. But oh, I didn't even see. But Honey and the rest of the team actually went in, and they've already got quite a nice little foothold. But bot hop modes.
They had to use the Uber and exchange for the space, and with Martin having his, it's not looking too good. News goes down, everybody in Bus trying to put forward. However, people in from the left side, just on the point, getting a lot of time. Collapse comes in by Basku onto the point, using Uber as well. Crayon the only one up. Question is, do they know where he is? And the answer is, I don't think they care too much. They just don't want to lose this round. I feel like Martin knows. Martin knew. He was just waiting for Crayon to take the bait. And he didn't, so everybody else just did the job. So I guess you can call this a smart play. And it works out for the Basku, taking the second point back here quite confidently with some ad to boot for as well. And with 4 minutes left on the clock, it's not looking too hard for Velocity anymore.
No, they're not doing that well on this map. Olga's super low, ends up getting picked up by Polygon. Bot mode in a bit deep, but juking a bunch of players before eventually going down to his stick. And they have gone in. Ixie, Longboy onto the point. Martin and Yon getting a bit in an awkward situation. Tobbs manages to help up with the kills. Yon coming in, helping clean up Honey. Everyone's down. Everyone's down.
I missed how the Solis died, unfortunately, but if there were Solis up, this would have been a fantastic play, because everybody was just not looking at people coming in from mid, and it would be a huge collapse. Unfortunately, Basku, or fortunately for Basku, I should say, they were able to deal with those Solis before any danger could come out of them, and they were just able to take down the scout before any harm was done.
Quite a questionable choice from Velocity to pick up that crits. Never mind, they've got the force, so actually if they can just build that out and get them with a surprise crits. But the massive team back cap onto mid, they're behind all of the bus crew. Polygon bombs in, but ends up going down. But Honey and Raf are down as well. It's not looking great. Olga onto Yon. Oof. It's not.
Yeah, the back cap coming through.
It's that back cap. I don't even think you can consider it a back cap with that many players.
Well, we already had the triple backup working earlier, so they just try again, and they barely have any time left for a failure to begin with, so they are just gunning for it. And it worked for now. Honey spawns on crits, and given the little bit of time they have left, they might as well.
And again, Velocity are looking to push into last. They've still got those crits, so they have to make it work. It's very hard to push into last.
They're not building at all. They don't have any ad, and it started all even. It's still even despite 25% faster build rate on the crit streak.
Yeah.
Not meaning anything if you don't build, and
Yeah, they're going to have to instantly use this on news and get that dream. Like, the dream here is a dream sticky onto Martin. That's all. Like, if they can do that, it's going to be great. Otherwise, Crayon goes down. The Uber is up on Martin, so they spot the crits onto anyone. Honey going down. Tobbs doing a lot of work there, and I think this is all she wrote for Velocity. Actually, I know this is all she wrote.
Well, Bosku doesn't care. They want to have fun here. They want to get some more stuff on the scoreboard, and they're getting just that. Polygon 2 in a row. Olga Raft not getting a backup today. Crayon tries as well, but gone just straight into his face. 6k on that man with that kill, and second cap on top of that.
Yeah, there's nothing. Velocity just need to, you know, make themselves feel better. But the synced rockets onto Ixie means that he goes down, and yeah, News down as well. Tobbs is using shotgun. What is this? 2009?
Well, I doubt he's been using it the entire time, and we probably can see that in the logs later as well.
Yeah.
And we also see Olga on his main, and that's how you know that it's over. Even if they're winning, even if they're losing, doesn't matter. If Olga goes pyro, it's over.
Yeah. We'll see what he can do, but so much spam onto the rest of Velocity gamers, and they end up going down. Polygon behind, just dealing some damage to the boys on point. Yon is on the other side, but Crayon Olga down. Honey on his own, Polygon onto him. Only 34 seconds. It's going to go into garbage time now. And yeah, that's
despite Bosku failing last pushes quite a bit on this map, he still basically all the time had control of the game. Even when it went to second, they knew exactly what they need to do to get it back quickly and relatively safely on top of that. So they had pretty decent map knowledge that obviously was lacking here on Velocity. So they made sure that the new map counterpick here works in their favor, and if they can work on some stuff like the last pushes, then I am fairly looking forward to whoever they're gonna be playing in upset week.
And what's the last map? I can't remember.
Snakewater, I think.
Snakewater.
So
no,
two less common map and one really common map.
Congratulations to Bus Crew for winning the second map. That does mean we go on to a decider Snakewater for this upper bracket final of the Prem qualifiers for season 30. We'll have a quick look at the logs now. Are you ready, Dum,
Sure.
to school us?
Assuming there is anything, obviously, that is outstanding. Let's see. Polygon dealt huge damage. I was more focused on tops most of the time, so that is mildly surprising. But I mean, not really. He's the pocket, so you would expect as much. And even then, tops dealt a lot of damage. It's really important to consider here as well in terms of that. So just the explosive classes again, just doing huge work for us, and the map definitely favored them much more this time.
Look at the kill. The death difference between Martin and Honey. There's a 10 death difference. Martin was staying alive so much. On the one hand, you could say that just a consequence of how the game went in terms of score, but at the same time, Basku was certainly smarter going about doing this sort of onto Honey. They did a lot of fancy stuff in terms of just solis jumping and stuff like that, mids as well. A lot of the times led to Honey just dying, and the deaths just coming straight out of those situations, and they made sure Honey died. That was an important factor for them. But alongside that, it was quite ridiculous on how sort of Martin and Yon were playing. Yon did a huge amount of work as well as Polygon. Polygon was just always in their face when he needed to, and especially that double bomb, that sync from Tobbs during one of the mid fights was ridiculous as well, and it just meant that they were just cleaning players around the backside, not letting poor old Velocity do anything, and I'm interested to see how Snakewater's going to go, because that's a game, a map we're more familiar with. So maybe the element of surprise kind of worked in Buscrew's favor, or maybe they'll.
Yeah, they certainly had more map knowledge. I've seen one really cheeky thing from Velocity. in the scrims, which was a really evil spam angle that allows you to like sit back and choke and be able to hit people on the point really easily. But apart from that, Basku was certainly aware of what they were doing most of the time. They didn't use minor things about the map, how to approach fight spawns and stuff like that, and it just showed time and time again. They barely lost control of second. If they did, it didn't last very long. They just dictated the pace of the game really heavily, deciding when Honey was allowed to live, basically, and that is a huge factor. Alright, I'm looking up my screenshot of Martin saying what the maps were earlier, and obviously we know Snake, but the more important factor is here him saying, would rather have Grand than Snake. So, unless Velocity is in a similar situation, which I would doubt, then this could be kind of tough for Basku. It's not obviously bad enough of a map for them to ban it outright, but it's not the one they favored out of the two maps left at the end of the map picking process here. So it all comes down to how much Velocity does like this map in total.
Mm.
And for the mid fights as well, we saw it on Product, we saw it on Cardinal again, and I doubt we won't see it here again. Namely, good, solid aggression, coordinated stuff like that on the mid fights that just tears Velocity apart. We had it on all two maps so far, and Snakewater as a whole just allows for that on the mid fights. For Solis just to do fancy stuff, get away with a lot of things, and do cool jumps that have huge impacts. Maybe even just flank around, and they had a little bit of that as well on the other two maps. And that could be a huge factor here, something that Velocity hasn't really done much on the mid, so I can't even say they're bad at it. They just, in general, are not really too keen on trying it in the first place.
Mm. Like, one thing to definitely keep in mind is the experience level of Tobbs and Polygon. Like, arguably, they haven't played much together, but they're both very experienced players, specifically in their role. Like, Tobbs has been did a lot of work on when he was playing during Copenhagen Games, and but that was with Poison. And Polygon's a more experienced player. He's played Prem a few times before, so I could really see if Tobbs and Polygon can keep up absolutely everything they've done, I can see them doing so much, because I'd arguably say Snakewater kind of favours your soldiers, especially with the ability to do high bombs in all of the areas of the map. Means that you've got to be really careful of what the soldiers are doing. And alongside that, they've got quite an aggressive demo on Yon that will favour them, whilst News likes to play a bit more passive than a Yon. So that could be a bit of a difference.
Something that we hadn't seen much outside of Product is Sniper. We had a little bit of bot mode, and obviously Cardinal on last is not the most insane sniper map. Outside of that, kind of, well, mostly second, to be honest. Mid not really either. So you only have one great sideline on the map that arguably is really good, but outside of that, not too many options, and the map wasn't really too much about fighting second, unfortunately. So that didn't come into play that much. Snakewater is a different story. You can snipe to mid if you really want to. Definitely changes how you play though, and every other point of the map does allow for sniper to some extent. So that could be a factor that can come into play.
Yeah, but we'll get in on this third map. So it's a map apiece for the boys in the bus crew and Velocity EUSports. We're going into the third map of the Season 30 upper bracket finals for the Premiership qualifiers, sponsored by ScrapTF and SDN Trading. Let's get ourselves going. Yeah, Yon's super aggressive onto News. News and Olga just brilliant. That has to be.
They again don't know what they're doing, which is weird, because why would they need to fix the config?
No, it was something to do with ICSI. No, something about ICSI. Yeah. Well, that was an interesting game. Well, yeah.
We can go home now. It's tied to 1-1. Nobody gets into Prem. See you next season.
Yeah. I had to cast something recently where there wasn't a way of discerning a draw. Like it just voided the round. so there was like 3 draws during the final of this thing I was at, and it was just ridiculous. It was like 5-hour final because of this route. I'm so glad that exists. You've just given me like flashbacks.
Quick reminder to not ready up as when somebody is AFK on your team, so this stuff doesn't happen to you as well. And with that being said, they might actually go live, but I wouldn't bet on it.
But yeah, just so everyone knows, the colours have swapped for the team, just in case we're not able to adjust that. But Jon, again, super aggressive, and nice bombing from Raph. But he's far behind. He ends up going down, but not before Polygon is as well. Jon down though, so News alive. Only 1 player down for Velocity, so they're going to take this mid in the first mid of this set of games.
Tops being elective as well helps quite a bit. One less player to have to worry about, and quite the opposite of what we were talking about. Velocity this time finally showing that their solis have stuff for a bit as well, and Organ Rough taking a little bit more initiative here. Tops only the real threat here at the later part of the mid-fight being in their face, but they dealt with that quickly as well once they had the advantages going their way anyway. But no Martin kill means this won't go fast, and Olga also won't go anywhere, so things will slow down a little unless Bosku has much to say about this in the stalemate, and they already got another one, just nice extender kill by bot mode, and this gives them such a huge sideline now.
Yep, and they've moved in quite aggressively onto the place in grass, but Honey ends up popping. Martin holding it out for a bit, and the exchange has happened. There's quite a bit of like a mess there, because Ixie looked like he was going last, but he ends up not going last in the end, and Velocity players are going down. Ixie the only one left. He manages to get Martin though before dying to Jon. That's quite crucial, because it means that once players are back, oh no, it'll be equal. It'll be equal, because by the time players are back for Honey, Martin will be up.
But to the point where it won't matter too much. So yeah, just a huge fight on second, and he's kind of what I was talking about on Cardinal, that just people like recommitting on second on Snakewater as the team that had second at the beginning of the situation. Nice trap by Jon. I don't even know if he saw that. It might have been a blind light, in which case, good job Jon, I guess. And that might be a kill. The question is how much does it matter, because it's an on-dual situation. Martin is on crits, which is great, but will give an advantage, but obviously not in time before Ralph is back up. So the kill, while neat and good for the frag movie, won't matter too much.
But yeah, again, a bit of a stalemate going on for Bus Crew. They're looking to maybe do something. They know they've got a little bit of an ad right now. I don't know how they managed to glean that, but they have got a lot more building. Oh, they're on crits, that's why. But Jon's beefing the crits. Doesn't manage to get anyone, but it doesn't matter. 2 players down, they're going to push on to mid.
Draft is back on Spy, and he wants some stuff done with this, but obviously he needs to be careful with his timing. Obviously Martin is the best pick here. Jon isn't too bad either. They know it's crits, so Martin dead and Jon dead both remove that threat quite a bit. Not entirely, but they do have the Uber, so they don't need to be too worried about it. Have just slowly being backed up in the corner with everybody moving back on Basket, because they know they have Uber this set, and they probably can't stay here much longer, but they aren't aware of yet that Velocity is lacking some firepower here. Ooh, never mind,
oh
there we go.
Raph
with the 2K. Huge opening for his team. Obviously now, Basku will go in, try to get Honey forced in any shape or form that they can. Everybody going in, collectively, Buttmore flying in as well as Deox in his face. Honey pops just in time, 10 HP. Great reaction time by that man.
And Jon and Martin coming back, so that does mean it's a full wipe. But yeah, Martin's back on that medigun. They're alright, they can relax. They can relax for the time being. They're going to just look to maybe get something with Jon's traps. They're not able to get anything. They're not going to be able to put much of a hold up, as Velocity want to go in, but Hobbs has something else to say about that when it comes to Raph. Raph getting skyboxed. And not a huge amount happening. Jon maybe setting up a little lower trap. Let's see if they decide to go in that lower area or stack things up. No, the Ubers are equal, so I don't see much point in them pushing.
Yeah, tough situation, kind of the same story we had a number of times with Cardinal here. People just having to create some sort of advantage for themselves to make something happen. And from the bit I've seen, which is arguably not that much, Velocity struggled a little bit in these situations, so I wonder if they worked on fixing these kind of stalemates here into last in order to make stuff happen that allows them to have any chances of a not completely even, if not even worse, to be honest, last push, where they just pop in blindly.
Yep, and right now, not a good push. Ixie managing to go down.
I'm calling it now,
exchange
he's
for
going
tops.
sniper. That's such an obvious play that I'll be genuinely surprised if he doesn't go sniper at this point. Getting a kill is just a nice little bonus, because they can't like do anything about the situation afterwards, because it's still even numbers, and that's exactly what happens if he goes sniper. Diox, however, has a huge brain, he goes by and sees it coming from a mile away.
Yeah, and nice little boring stalemate for us with Ixie. Ixie, that guy must have an aimbot sometimes. Some of the shots this guy can land is ridiculous, so that's probably what they're going to be betting on.
Yeah, Ixie doesn't like boring stalemate, so he's there to not make the boring with hitting some nice shots if he can.
But never mind. Try again, Ixie. Get a new sightline. Do something for us. As he is looking to rotate out, drop down.
Here on Snake, and Martin tries to avoid like.
Oh, Polygon going down. That's a good first pick. They can maybe do something. Tubbs wants to rotate to deny that.
And he gets the Martin drop.
Oh!
That was huge. They knew exactly where he was, and that's kind of why you don't see the wall hold anymore that much. Obviously, Olga had such an easy time with that. Nobody was on the fence there, where usually somebody should be standing denying that. But nicely abused this opening here. 3 kills going in, sentry down as well once Eber gets popped. And this needs to be around. They just need to keep people out of her face, get the sticks off the point. None of that happening too quickly, though. Tops is popping off as well, getting some kills.
But it's just such a delayed push. Not much time on the point. Crayon just getting spammed out. Honey on his own. He needs to back out. And that was a really failed push from Velocity.
They absolutely had no idea where anybody was, and that really showed. After the initial entry, where people died early, they got absolutely nothing done, and Basku gladly takes this one. Invitation to get out of last for free, getting to second, no advantage of even Ubers, but such a more comfortable position to be in now after a huge beef on both sides.
Yeah, it's looking pretty close. It's defensive for Bus Crew right now, but they may be able to make something happen once they start getting some more picks. But Velocity looking to set up, spam them out, Defensor. It's a bit of a race to get Uber first right now, but they're very equal. Like there's like 1 or 2%.
Yeah, at this point it doesn't really
teams.
matter who gets first balls. They effectively get at the same time. Nothing much you can get out of that, even if you had like 10% ad or something like this in this scenario. So both just scared, even Uber's teammate, both should be aware of that. And that's kind of something I don't like too much, namely nobody doing anything when they know it's even Ubers and both sides are building. Use the opportunity there. It's a small one, and it's kind of gambling with the fact that the scout might be weak or has his sword out by the time and can't react in time. But it's better than just jumping in once they have Uber, and the scouts are definitely going to be able to shoot you. So that's always a little bit unfortunate to see in my personal opinion, but obviously you want to play it safe, you don't want to lose somebody while you don't have the Uber yet, so I can understand it at the very least.
Yeah, but again, a bit of a stalemate. Raph looking to go in though, he goes in really deep, gets denied, but he's still chasing for Martin, ends up going down, so that's the first sack. So we should see a counter sack from Tubbs maybe as he goes into the lower left, seeing if he can maybe go in the kitchen, but ends up holding it. Polygon going in, but nothing really. News setting up some traps, but opportunities to do stuff, none taken. I think it's gonna result back into
it's better to just look at the mid situation and see if it's possible or not, and just jump in blindly and hope for the best, because that's more often than not gonna end exactly like grass jumps, namely jumping at the medic, not getting any damage and dying before anything can be done with the situation. So Basque playing it a little bit safer. They're not giving like any late deaths up on their own part that can be just counteracted again by just another counter sack.
Yeah, Nixie went in, but he ends up going down. That again, I'm gonna
yeah, I
make a
wonder
decision.
what he might be doing with this.
Yeah, I wonder.
Weird.
Is Dixie maybe going sniper? If he goes spy, I'm gonna lose my mind. That'd be hilarious.
Which is incredibly weird, because like usually that's the sorters for them going spy. Sometimes Crayon, but like never Ixie. So no, he doesn't. So that makes you wonder.
No, he's going spy.
He is. Ooh, Ooh, that's interesting.
Oh, here
Nobody
we
is
go.
far more than anyone, so let's see if he can still do some stuff.
Well,
on the French class.
at least he can pretend to be a sniper, look for an angle, and then go in.
Oh, he just can't decide what to do, I think.
I think he was checking for off classes then. That's the only other thing he could be doing.
But what's the point of checking off classes when nothing happened that would warrant any change
Well,
of class?
it's interesting, Dom, and we get to cast it, okay? It's better than saying they're standing
He's
at
checking
choke
for the sniper, so Botbot is doing exactly what you were talking about, and he sees a sniper, but I think he wanted to go sniper anyway, so he just knows that he can't just openly peek a sideline right now, which you shouldn't do anyways in terms of, like, walking to sticky trap or something like that. So even Stevens right now makes you wonder why they just didn't stick spy going into the or sniper going into the stalemate in the first place. They're just wasting a lot of time, and given that nobody has a lead, it's not favoring anybody. So just a whole lot of time wasted until they came to the decision to do exactly what they did on us, and we're back to square one.
It's quite interesting because Alba is usually the... oh no, Ixie taking down bot mode. This is... they look like they want to go forward with that. They know they haven't got the sniper to deny Ixie now, and they've got that player out, and they're looking to go into grass, but again, it's very slow. They've seen the opportunity and they're going in. There's going to be an exchange on second from the looks of it as Martin tries to keep Tobbs alive. Crayon pressuring Martin, but good defense from Bus Crew to stop it. They're going to try and do something. They've got the exchange going on now. Ixie taking a lot of damage, ends up going down, but the Uber does look a little better for Bus Crew. They've made something out of it.
And Polygon popped his contra on top of that. Uber's gone, doesn't matter. We have the banner, we're fast, we have health, let's go. They're going straight, and Polygon leading the charge, forcing it out extremely quickly. And that is probably where it will end. It lasts exactly 10 seconds, so it's longer than an Uber, even a max length one. But even that, it's still just 10 seconds, and it will at least get them out of it. But they were certainly hoping for more of that.
Yes, but at least we had an Uber exchange and then a banner push.
Yeah, the finally is Velocity had a really great start to that. They played it really smart with the flank, pushing like 4 on the combo and 2 on the flank, splitting the attention, getting really easy early force there. But then the Uber is where just everything fell apart and people got just dropped left, right and center. Honey couldn't save anybody, nice damage onto exactly the right targets by the Bus Crew. And they want to keep going now, they don't want to waste much time.
Tobbs went in, tried to get some sort of force, but he ends up going down. We should see a counter sack somewhere, I hope. But no, News just wants to play it close. They're just gonna relax it. They don't have to do too much. No off classes for either team. We may see Tobbs come on spy, but no, we'll see when he comes out of the respawn queue. No, he's coming back on soldier, I think. Yeah, that's exactly what he's gonna do. So we've got a bit of a classic stalemate, just to switch to the situation.
But Polygon is still on the conch. He needs 480 damage still, but he would have lost his entire banner progress there, so Martin saves him for now. He takes the long way out, leaves Martin to get out of Saw alone, and probably for the best, since he died and Martin didn't, so that's an unfortunate death. Banner progress lost no matter how far in he was. Always unfortunate, but Velocity don't want to keep going, don't want to just keep waiting, they want to keep going with this. And we hear another one, and it is all gas. It is the defense bar 30% by the battalion. They bust through. Wiethoofd still lost his life. However, everybody else has a much tougher time dying. Yon behind them with some sticks, putting up some sort of fight. Lewis would have certainly died. No damage was
Batcat coming out of bot mode though is going to pull some players back as Deox and Polygon are aggressing. Bot mode just wanting to be a distraction. This might be an opportunity for the rest of his team to maybe
they don't have a great amount of numbers yet they need. They're still 2 down by this time. They got a new skill, which at least guaranteed that nothing is going to be done off the numbers this side they face right now, but not much else will be done. So it mostly just delayed the stuff that will happen either way, which is Honey popping in from kitchen right now, taking the exchange. Honey super weak, leaves pack, gets it, gets out of that in time as well. So mostly just still exchange for exchange's sake. And this will be interesting if they have any proper plans here for the post-Uber. Just a big old exchange, and Velocity actually really aggressive, gets bot mode. Yon not aware of the flank, gets taken down by Ixie. Everybody just in with that, storming forward, get tops as well. 3 people out safely for Basku, but that is exactly what Velocity wanted. They just
crushed. They crushed
them
that
into their own hand and pushed non-Uber. Something you don't see too much anymore. People don't like the risk of doing something without an Uber shot, but at the same time, the other team won't have one as well. So as long as you know what you're doing and at least in some way can take the other team by surprise, it's always a good time for you.
Yeah, but I think teams do need to push out a lot more aggressively when there's equal, because it does seem to be the current meta at the moment is just to wait for an advantage and push, but it's not bad trying to create the advantage, and that's exactly what Velocity did, and it just gives them a huge advantage to them. And now equal Ubers last hold for the bus crew. We might
this is a whole different story, because going for an exchange here is much harder, and with the bot mode sniper on the other end, that forces you to pop quite a bit quicker than you would otherwise, so it's much more difficult to do that sort of thing on last than anywhere else. And it forces them back quite quickly here as well. Basket trying to take some space. Bot mode obviously on the sniper tries to make good use of the sideline given to him. Let's see if he can do it, but Spam is really heavy his way.
But yeah, they're not able to capitalize on that single kill, but it does mean that bot mode has a bit of presence, like you mentioned, so Honey's going to have to pop super early. Ixie not going for like any sack play to maybe go out. They go in on the Uber, they manage to get the headshot, but bot mode ends up going down. The exchange has been flashed all over Deox and Polygon, but they do have the conch ready, and they're going to use it on the repush from Velocity. So many players crushed by Polygon. That was such good work. He ends up going down, and it's only Jon and Martin left versus Raf and Olga and News. Oh, Olga did the counter pop. I didn't even see that from his banner. They've got so much time on point. It's going to be the first round of the map going to Velocity Esports.
That is the future. Popping your banner later so you have your effect for longer, and it paid off. Sure, Honey died in front of Raf, but it took quite a bit longer, at least one rocket more, for I think Polygon it was, to actually get the kill there in the end. That gave him enough time to get an easy kill, and that was like the complete game changer. Otherwise it would have been even numbers and neither team would have hit heals, but 3v2 and Velocity comes out on top in the fight with just a little bit of a better banner.
Yeah, but this second mid has started. Tob's going in for a high bomb. Raf getting denied though, but Tob's not. He's behind. Polygon going down. So it's one player down for both teams. News and Ixie quite aggressive over the point, but they're taking a lot of damage as is. Bot mode and Tobs pushing people down into lower, into choke. Deox coming in with a join in. Manages to pick up Ixie. Jon there as well. So Jon's got the pan out. He's watched Tangled before, ladies and gentlemen. And he's trying to get some kills, but no,
he was trying.
He was trying to do that scene in Tangled, but it didn't work. But
mid win nonetheless. Solly's trying extremely early, being very important to get an easy entry there for Basku. And speaking of easy entries, there into second, not much up in terms of defense for Velocity quite yet, but they're still trying to take the fight here with the spawners in the backlines coming soon, taking the exchange.
Yeah. But they've just finished off the cap, and Uber was forced onto Martin, so this is not a good position for them to be in, because they had to send a player back. And yeah, it kind of sucks right now for Bus Crew. They could have got some momentum going, but they ended up losing it.
Yeah, that's the kind of exchange that I kind of like to see that doesn't happen too much, namely one where you just need to play for time. They don't have full numbers, they have somebody back capping, and you don't have quite yet either, but in terms of Velocity's numbers, they were getting them pretty soon with the forwards, with the spawners coming in at the end of that mid fight. So they could perfectly afford to do that and not lose anything of that, and that's quite exactly what happened here. And we are finding ourselves back into a stalemate situation. Last time Velocity was taking the initiative here and just took an exchange and got the better end of the non-Uber fight. And they did the same thing for last, which was interesting despite the double banner situation, just holding onto theirs longer, baiting it out first on Polygon. And I'm interested to see if they have a similar idea this time. Oh yeah, speaking of banners, I think only Olga has one right now with the battalions, which seems to be the best banner of choice. Many people that do use banners kinda like to change them depending on the map, like how open or closed it is sometimes. And it's still a little bit of personal choice. Top jumps in here without a banner, just trying to make something happen the classic way, but that is not too successful for him. Gets a little bit of damage onto the medic. Not too much though. Prime opportunity for Olga to farm some damage, because banner alone won't give you the effect. It needs, with the battalions and above banner, I think 600 damage, and the conch needs 480, so it builds like 20% faster. But obviously that damage doesn't come for free. You need to actually do at least something to get it, even if it's just spam. It's like about like 10 or more spam rockets.
Yeah, but they are looking to want to do something. Force Tobbs in once again from Saw. He's not able to do anything. He ends up going down, but a lot of damage onto players. But yeah, is any banners out of any boys in bus crew? Doesn't look like it. So they could maybe do some sort of banner push here with Olga, but again they don't decide to. It's just they don't need to push. They don't need to push, that's the thing. They've got the one advantage. They can just chill and play it out, dumb.
Yeah, Basku has shown that they're really confident in these slow situations, but they can't anymore at this point. Like, whatsoever. They're already one run down, they need to take just Tops mildly tries. They kind of beat this jump, I think, in window, so we will probably try again pretty soon. Yon as well, pretty for 4, taking a lot of damage. It saw, so he has to back off a little bit.
Tobbs trying
looks
another
like
jump.
Getting a little bit desperate.
Yeah, they're trying another jump from a different angle. Damage onto Honey, but Honey survives. They have backed out though. Honey just waiting to get his health back. So again, not a huge opportunity, but Tobbs is trying to make something happen.
That's the bad part with single sacks. The risk we want is just, you know, stupid. Like, ooh, never mind. Huge damage gets in exchange. But again, just a passive one. But Velocity twice in a row has shown that they like these non-over situations. So let's see if they can make something happen. Maybe, but they're not too keen on it quite yet. Anyway, what I was saying is that the risk reward is kind of stupid, because it's the lowest risk play you can do a single sack. But at the same time, the risk is so great if it works that it's just the safest thing to do in most of these stalemates. Double sack obviously has like a safer way, like an easier way to get the actual kill or force out of the medic, but at the same time you lose 2, and if it doesn't work, you're just on a losing end suddenly. Yeah, I'm surprised nothing happens with the non-dual situation. Velocity seemed really keen on it, but one round up, given how slow this game was, and close as well, they're not gonna risk anything, and I can't blame them too much. You always hear people complain, but at the same time, it's always the same people that complain that also play slow when given the opportunity. So, you know, it's a smart thing to do. It's the optimal strategy here, and they want to get into Prem. They can be doing fancy stuff after that, but the entire season basically depends on it right now.
But Deox going on his main, the spy. And he's coming up behind, he's gone in nice and quick, so maybe if they can do some sort of chaos for Velocity to deal with. Deox uncloaks, he's onto Honey, he misses the backstab! Oh, but they managed, no, they don't. They managed to get Olga. I thought they got Honey there, but it was Olga. Deox still alive though in the background. I thought they got him, that was such bad beef. And the bus crew still want to go in on this. And
yeah,
that's
everybody's
exactly
distracted. They just come to it in tech the exchange, gets Roth as well with the spy pick. So Deox coming through eventually, and that just makes ad numbers for Velocity happen really quickly, and they need to.
Oh,
but they
no.
can't. Huge beat grinder in lobby, and Velocity is just falling apart right now. Ixi getting taken out as the last one.
Only
Olga last one
left.
up here.
They haven't kept second though, they've done it again.
But does it really matter? They broke the stalemate. Sure, they're inching their way forward, but at least they're getting forward. And 1 point at a time, they're slowly making their way back to last now.
But
Second, only 1 more point to go, and they tied it back up.
But Snake Order last sucks for the attacking team.
They have smaller, not much, barely enough to make use of it as an advantage. And even if you do, you need to like actually get the medic out of the equation if you decide to pop in with this advantage. So they can't just not focus the medic here. And Yeah, that's
well,
really tough.
they can build an advantage because there are off classes, and that's exactly what they've done. They've popped the Uber, they're on to News, they've forced him out. They're now dealing with the left-hand side. The sentry gun hasn't even come into play yet, and it's just completely ineffective. Olga spammed out. The rest of Velocity are now coming onto the point, but Martin disconnected from the rest of his team, not looking good as players go down. Tobbs comes in at the last second, trying to clean something up. Diop's left, and Martin's out of there. And that's a failed push for Bushcrew.
Yeah, much like with Cardinal, they're just lacking this point collapse ability on Bushcrew, where they just made people on it really quickly and force them to take a really bad fight, where they just predict the position, have the easiest time getting damage onto the board with the explosive classes, and yeah, they're just lacking this consistently on like the last 2 maps here, and it just held hope for the last pushes.
Yeah. But then again, it's gone to a bit of a stalemate, but it won't for long because Honey has his Uber. But News taking a lot of damage means he's out of the fight for a little while. But they're going to try and take mid for free here. Polygon pushing over the point, decides to back out. May have gone for a bond, but makes the decision to value his life. And it looks like the bus crew are going to be on their second now.
Yeah, I think slightly spiraling out of control again. Might actually get a little bit further. 5 seconds respawn left on 2 old. The sticky trap by Yon completely destroys them. 2k for
I didn't
him,
even
Matt
see
down,
that.
Demo
Whoa.
down. This will be a huge turnaround if they extend
They just
on
need
this
to push
properly
like crazy.
and then get Crayon, so they prevented the backup already. But there's
No!
in the corner.
Oh,
and
another
with the
drop!
double fire.
Oh my god, another drop. That's not good. Yon
Check
and
your
Martin
corners,
just
everybody.
went down, and it's now in an awkward situation. This is just absolute chaos.
It kind of favors Velocity just numbers-wise. 3 on mid in blue. Everybody up right now with forward spawns. Bushcrew can't do much here. Top's already getting taken out early as well. Not full numbers on the field. Slight add to Honey, but nothing really meaningful. With 3 minutes left as well. I don't think they're gonna take the risk and push with this.
No, they can. Like, there's still.
Never mind,
there's still an
push with the
opportunity.
advantage. They just go forward without it, just checking the situation, but decide to back up eventually. All on the banner as well. Nice little safety net on top of everything. And yeah, if they haven't been playing slow before, they will now for sure. This is just too little time left after a scenario like this. You can't take the risk. Polygon, however, goes in rough with the double air shot, but Polygon eventually just dies at the hand of News instead. However, everybody comes in with the distraction, trying to make the most of it, and News super far forward, gets taken down as well as Ruff obviously did there as well. So one player add here, but Uber is up for Honey. Martin gets in time, can save himself as well as Yon. Top's not really as lucky, but they have the better over here. Even if just slightly, able to chase down Ixie and get everybody out of mid. Maybe that's what they needed.
Yeah, they managed to win the post-Uber fight, and they're looking to go into grass, hoping that News isn't around. He hasn't got a trap up though, and News, again, so far forward, ends up going down. Crayon down as well. The aggression will come out of Bus Crew, I hope. They don't have to deal with the demo once again, so they can get second for free. And if they can build this out, they can go straight on to last and not give them any time to breathe. And I think that's exactly what Yon wants to do, is they're coming in on the right side with Tobbs and Yon, not even waiting for their Uber. They're in. Ixie taking a lot of damage, ends up going to respawn, and they're going to reset and just let the Ubers pan out. Ooh.
This is really unfortunate. One death onto Diobs was actually so big, because otherwise they would have had just player it for last, and that's something they would have pushed with anyways, so they would have had it for free to begin with.
They've used their Uber and actually bullied a lot of players out of right hand side. The Ubered heavy comes in, the Putis is out, dealing a lot of damage, but this could be a repush if they organise themselves. Never mind, bot mode and Yon down, and they managed to, Velocity managed to hold their last point. But
yeah,
not all
again,
Bus Crew
not on the
players
point
dead.
fast enough. Velocity has enough time to rotate. 1 minute left. There's no reason to push at all anymore. Like, no matter how fast you want to play, this is just suicide.
All or nothing right now. All or nothing for Bus Crew. They need to make something happen in 50 seconds. And I think that's exactly what they're trying to do.
Bad, so
they can do
something. If there's ever been
something.
a 50 seconds clutch, then this is the opportunity. But there's a defense. Olga on his main, Koyon and Angie. So that's something they're banking on right now.
It's going to be super slow, but they're ready to go in. They're a little bit disorganized on the push out.
He is 20% away from getting as well. getting
Oh
really
no,
close.
it's super close. They managed to get the sentry gun down, push the people. They're starting their rotate. No, they're coming back
No
out.
time on point until now. It's so slow with the point timer. And Honey will get in a second.
seconds.
Can't pop to save himself. They just need to block the point here and kill some people, preferably as well. They already lost both the scouts on velocity, so it's not looking too bad. And everybody's focused on the point. This might be able to get turned around.
Oh, they're doing it!
They're all collapsing for the point.
They're doing it! They're doing it! They've done it! That's equal! What a last push from Bus Crew. It's super scrappy, but they managed to clean it out in the end. And that's one apiece. We're going to a golden cap. Wow.
That's kind of what they needed the entire time. Just people on the point that are easy targets. And sure, they had to wait on the Uber, but it doesn't matter in this scenario.
I'm sorry, Bus Crew. You know I love you guys, but I counted you out then. That was amazing. Good job. Oh. Oof.
Oh, this is going to be interesting. That's for sure. I don't know if we have enough time for the logs, unfortunately, because I already hear radio noises. So the only thing I want to check real quickly is mids, but it's even, and it was just 2 mids as well, so there's not too much to get away from this. And it's honestly been an eternity since both of these mid fights, so it's hard for me to remember right now how they went. It's hard to say who will have the edge, and I wouldn't be surprised if they try something fancy here, just to catch the other team by surprise. I think both mids, no matter who won here, were dictated by how long the soldiers lived and how much they were able to do before they died. So that's something important to keep in mind for either side here.
Yeah. But I can't remember, is it the 10-minute timer?
I'm not sure what
time limiters
for that.
But yeah, so this is it. So this golden cap decides whether or not one of these teams go into Prem. The loser will have to go against
professional Disney fangirls.
Professional Disney fangirls.
That's the decider then. But first, this one, the two favorites going into it right now, and
I swear I'm
so close.
I swear I've said like 3 different ways of saying professional Disney fangirls team. Like,
but the worst part is that on like LAN and Essentials Cup they also have a different name, and it's just so confusing.
Just name your team one thing. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Production just mentioned Brain Sense changing to Velocity. Shout out to Bus Crew for staying the Bus Crew.
Well, Brain Sense stuck with the name for sort of like 2 games or like 1 game or something like that. So like, didn't matter too much at least. Like going into the season, they'll be starting as Velocity and probably go out of it as Velocity. So that's not too confusing.
Oh, remember the Germans from last season? They had. Weren't they the Shack to begin with?
Yes.
And then they were...
And then they became German memes, so there we go.
Yeah. Which I couldn't pronounce for the life of me.
But back to this game, because there's still one more round to be played here. They're just wasting some time, probably thinking about how they're going to approach it. Jon in chat says 2 seconds brag, which I think means break. And we can have a quick scoop over the logs, but nothing too serious, I think. Let's see what we have. And we're sorting by damage. See Olga up top. Heavy damage focused pocket there. How much heals did he take? Just quickly looking on my own here. The most 28%, so that makes sense. And with a banner pocket, that also kind of makes sense since, you know, he has always a little bit less health every time he jumps, if he jumps at all. So yeah, we see it all the way up to 28%. Polygon, similar story, and he was also a banner pocket. And that's the kind of thing that you need to keep in mind going forward, because the way I see it, like 5 of the Prem teams we have so far, well, I mean, not really 5, but like 3 of the teams that are safe in Prem right now are using the banner, and I'm pretty sure everybody in the qualifier did at some point, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So, like, guaranteed 5 teams in Prem will use the banner, so you need to know how to play with it and around it.
Yeah,
pretty slow game, pretty like safe on both parts.
It was just
terms of kills and
spammy,
damage.
stalemate-y.
Yeah, waiting for a great opportunity. Somebody dropped from the server. It is not Crayon Ixie. That could be bad. Let's pull up the normal logs again to see how Ixie went, so we can tell how bad it is if he dropped, and it wouldn't be that great. 17 and 10, this is pretty strong. Like, that's high kills for relatively low deaths. So yeah, he's back. Crisis averted. That would be unfortunate if one of your players had to drop for this. I think that's a fate that Tops should be aware of from the past with his old bedtime. Not today. He can play until late, and he needs to. This team needs him. He might not have the greatest logs, but that's Roma logs in a stalemate game where he sacked in all the time. And I think like the other maps certainly justify his show his performance a lot more than like these stats do, which is like one of the factors why you can't get everything from stats, because like you just look at this thing, Tops did nothing, but he constantly had to do things for the team.
But
ooh, huge plot twist. This server has been reversed by somebody in 10 minutes, and they can't extend.
So we have
despite no time limit, we have a time limit.
10-minute time limit, but yeah, we need to get things sorted.
I'd say we introduce a rule that is just like Golden Cat round gets played in product, but I don't think Basku would like that.
Config's all good. So best of luck for both teams. Whoever wins this Golden Cap takes their place in Prem for Season 30.
Prem has a strip slot.
Yeah.
Do or die situation.
Yon is a little bit quicker. Raf and Olga are much higher than Tops and Polygon, who are further behind, but Raf gets cleaned up. Olga's taking a lot of damage. Now's an opportunity for Polygon maybe to do something with both soldiers on the other team down. And it's just a really sort of weird, meek mid there. It's
yeah, it's the same kind of story you see on a lot of our maps as well. Just you know you have to do something, so you switch it up, but the switched up mid that you're doing is not the one you do the best, and it certainly shows aggressive style attempted here by Velocity, and really nothing much happened with that. Just taking a lot of damage, trying to go forward. The bomb didn't do much. Nobody could follow up onto anything much at all. Basku just taking that easily in their favor, getting to second with that as well off of the 3 deaths there. Korean instantly to sniper, and see you in 9 minutes.
See you in 9 minutes. I think that's the best way to describe it. I'm surprised there's not a sack play coming out of Tops or someone. Like Polygon's gone in. Never mind. I'll shut up. He gets Crayon.
And he
gonna
gets
get out. Oh my god,
easily
Polygon.
as well. That's a pick. No sniper to worry about. Gives them some more freedom.
That was beautiful. That's like the best way. That's like
He only needed that. Nobody else watching that besides Crayon. But it all took so long. Crayon is back up. They're already sending Polygon forward to Martin. Gets a lot of time on the point in the meantime as well. Tops gets out with whatever he was doing, even if just barely. Crayon is back up, and the sideline is a lot more scarier again. He actually plays Scout now. Never mind. Probably to just prevent these soldiers jumping in, but not too much happened with unfortunately. So the ones being down didn't come into play too much. They get some time, but it's basically gone already again. Nothing too much to worry about. Crayon going spy. Is he just checking though, or waiting for a sniper to arrive on the scene? He is certainly checking, and there's nothing to see for him. So nothing much will be seen here by him.
Yeah, and both teams staring at doors, but maybe Tobbs hanging around, fighting Olga, but yeah, nothing really happens.
Yeah, both teams just playing extremely safe. Tobbs spawn or like has the contract, which he hadn't had the entire time. I think that was mostly Polygon's duty, but now it's Tobbs's, and that's
Polygon going in for another bomb, gets denied this time though, but he gets back. No, Raph, the other side body blocks him. And that's Polygon down.
But it's Snake. You can't push with this. Even if one more person died, it's still not easy to push out of that at all. The spawn times are just so good for the team on second. And Martin playing it safe, behind the crates to stay
Crayon.
safe from the Crayon sniper sideline.
Yeah, Crayon went in really deep then. Jesus.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, nothing much happens with this both sides playing it safe. Polygon not spawning with anything fancy though. Ooh, that is a body shot that pushes Polygon quite far back. He doesn't die though. That's some good help going into that. Ixie checking on Spy, doesn't go for anything. Crayon still on Sniper. Nothing much changes here except Bascu has lost lobby for now. And with Sniper staring them down, it's not that easy to just come back in. However, Crayon rotates. They don't realize it, obviously. He's in lower, waiting for them to come in from the supposedly safe entryway into last against the Sniper sideline.
But, oh, Deox actually on Spy. Is he walking out?
But Ixie was Spy as well. That
Yeah.
raises the question. Ixie checked the moment Deox went Spy as well.
But no, Deox is doing a little
Deox is
sneaky
in,
play.
normally checking, so they certainly are not aware of it. Ixie not checking fast enough there for to catch Deox.
Oh, they're aware. We gotta pause or something. The server die.
My game is moving, so it might be a pause.
This
And
is
I wouldn't be surprised if they need a new server because, I mean, they were talking about it.
this is
They can't afford really to pause with the server almost being down.
oh, that's such a tease. Look at Deox and Ixie. Look how close they are.
Yeah, maybe Ixie did know after all, and he's just checking randomly right now. And right in front of him.
Oh.
This is such a bad time to pause, to be honest. Like, they know they don't have time left. If somebody drops, it's, you know, understandable when if they drop from the server, so you can't blame anybody there. Ooh, there we go.
Yeah,
Quick
it
pause
was
at
a
least.
pause, and Deox goes down. So they know that the Spy is
and
down.
Right after that, I see Olga on conch as well. So double conch on the field, only ban is up right now. And there has been so little shooting that I don't even think they have quite yet. So they're looking for damage on both Olga's and Pop's side.
Yep, and the ice skating is out as well. And Deox trying again?
Maybe he's just checking, but there's nothing to check really, so he probably just will just go for it. And yeah, when you meet on Velocity, just playing safe around the fact that they do have the sniper. That's currently their win condition, which is to say, it's more of a not lose condition right now. While they're stuck on Lars right now. Jon is taunting to have full vision around him. So let's see what they can do here. Quion's still on sniper. Deox did eventually stick with the spies already all the way onto last. What can he find here though? He takes the fancy way over the point, but there's a scout jumping around, so it's not that safe. And he flashed and didn't even see Quayon in the corner. Thought he was safe there. Wasn't quite the case. Gets hammed down. Spy down. Now Pop. And this is how the pause came to be. Somebody dropped Olga and makes me wonder if that was his banner. Okay, but it looks of it was Olga's banner, nobody else used. So, nice little fake banner, and unless Bascu was super keen on paying attention to who used the banner all the time, they might still think there's potentially one on the table.
Bot mod actually coming back on the sniper, so he might see if he can do something, but
So really slow, and it's understandable. There's so much on the line right now. Nobody wants to take the bigger risk here, so both playing on the sniper now, eventually bot mode being the one for Bascu to take the rifle into his hands and just really far back. But they do know that they're technically on a timer here, so it's not like they can waste time forever. But the big difference is here that Bascu is the one in control of seconds, so they can wait until time's over basically and then just randomly push at whenever point they want. Slowly inching their way through the lobby. Botmod gets better sidelines with every little bit they give him here in terms of freedom, but was the team not too concerned about that quite yet. They're holding safe on the wall, or so they hopefully think. And seeing as there's people actually on the fence, the easy force or drop automaton that we've seen last time in the same situation shouldn't be possible. And Botmont getting creative here because they know Honey is nowhere to be found, so he must be at the wall. And the only really good spot to snipe from into a medic that you have is all the way on the right side, drop down or shutter, but that needs to be on knockdown against this sort of scenario.
But quite an aggressive forward hold from Velocity on the right hand side. They're trying to force Longboy in, but maybe Polygon wants to see if he can do something on this left side. Tobbs goes down to Olga though, and Raph's going to take that as an opportunity to go in. He gets cleaned up by bot mode, and Polygon going down. Oh, this is what Velocity need. They can start pushing into Bus Crew now.
Olga pops his banner, his conch, that is their fast, they get some heals, but you need to actually go anywhere with it to make use out of it, and he just walks right into Yon, gets the kill, which is nice, but how much is that worth in the bigger picture? Tobbs almost dies to the sniper, just barely survives there. And that's really unlucky. News gets a sticky kill onto Deox in lobby. They're just getting killed after kill, but they take so long for each kill to happen after the other that it's just not that great of an opportunity. After all, Raph commits in for the sniper, kinda misses though quite a bit. Botbot commits into that with it now. News gets the follow-up kill, and Ixie gets one onto Tobbs as well. This is kind of what they need same time to actually make use of.
Yep, and Velocity push in, managed to pick up Polygon. The exchanges happened between Martin and Honey, but the Uber's so much better, and Martin gets trapped in, catches himself, and he is cornered. How? Oh my gosh,
Martin, he's so weak, and he gets out and Olga even dies for it. They need to be careful to not overextend after this though. They get second, they are one down. Martin, the hero here for Basku.
Whoa, how did he get away? That's ridiculous.
That is so big as well, because otherwise they would be in such a bad spot for the rest of this game. And now they're just in straight away.
News down, that's a good pick.
Initiative.
That's a really good pick for Bus Crew, and they're going to take that, and they're going to push forward. They're going to push Velocity out of lobby, and they're going to retake second for free.
But they want
and
more.
They want to go, yeah, they're going in for more. Tobbs going in quite deep. He's on top of that little shot. It's not little.
But dropping players all over the place. Tobbs weak, doesn't die, but Raph already did the damage here. Yon goes down, Polygon down. However, they did get two in return. Deox eventually taken down at the door, really far forward. Still two down each though, so it's not like the best opportunity of all time. They're trying mightily. Olga is thrown in, Ixie in the lower area. Honey late to arrive to the party here. Can he actually save anyone? He saves them with his Uber, but it's an exchange. And worst one for Velocity at that. Single Uber by Basku, lots of flashing. Velocity, but only bot mode means they can't actually get anybody stuck. So they manage to escape on Velocity, but they can't do much else than try. But they just can't afford to.
News overextended, and this means that again Yon's going to want to take that in through somewhere, and he goes lower. He knows they got the player advantage, at least the damage advantage. They're getting spammed by Raph, but they got a nice hold into last hit. Ixie goes down really quick, and they got a lot of damage point, and they're going to do it, and the golden cat goes to Bus Crew, and that means that they're going to Prem.
Well, they're staying in Prem technically, but yes,
well, staying
they're
in
back. Bus Crew back in Prem, and Velocity has one more shot. So does Professional Disney Fangirls. The last game was relatively close, so it's by no means free for any of them. And the Bus Crew can have a huge sigh of relief. They're taking it home, winning 2 of the 3 maps needed, and taking the first of the 2 premiership slots that were available.
That was nuts. That was nuts.
The second repush was so important for them. Just Velocity not leaving quite fast enough, Basku capitalizing off of that mistake. Really nicely, they're having kills to get into last easily and force a bad decision, get point presence on Velocity, or like try to survive and kite the damage. And at that point, you're in the losing situation, and Basku played this really nicely here to take last and final round.
Well, wonderful game by both teams, but there can only be one winner, and that is the Bus Crew. So congratulations to the Bus Crew, and commiserations to Velocity, who will be going against Professional Disney Fangirls. Yeah.
One more game before the season can start. And that will decide who will be the final participant of our Premiership season.
So from there, we had a look over the logs. So I think we're going to look at grabs. We don't have any logs for the Golden Cap. I've just been whispered in my ear, so we should be getting some interviews going. So,
I'm pretty sure I have Golden Cap logs, but it's Golden Cap logs, you know, nothing much happened in mid-fight and then a 10-minute stalemate. So if you want to see them, just search for one of the names. And that should be easy to find. Let's see if I can help out production here. Pretty sure this is the Golden Cap logs. It's like a 10-minute round. With nothing much happening, but you know, it's Golden Cap round. Like, how much do the logs really tell you? So yeah, not much to see in the Golden Cap logs, obviously, just a long stalemate, few kills, and bottom line is Basku wins with the new lineup, new and possibly improved. We'll see once they head off against the other Prem teams how they will be doing there. And Velocity unfortunately losing here, but they're not quite out yet. One more chance for them and Professional Disney Fangirls to take it. Game hasn't been scheduled yet, as this game obviously needed to finish first to decide who Professional Disney Fangirls will be heading up against, and I think this has to be played this week still, so keep an eye out for that for sure.
But my God, Martin was just on fire the last two games.
He had such good survivability. Like it's not like I didn't rate Martin highly before. I haven't seen enough of him to really have that high of an opinion at all. But this certainly showed great performance by him.
But no, for the time being, we've got one gentleman to talk to, and that is the wonderful Olga. How you doing, Olga?
Hi. Well, last, but I think we did fine tonight.
It was a really close game, and I mean, you're not quite out yet. You have one more shot. So just pick up where mistakes were and improve from there, I think.
Yeah, I think we feel like pretty confident against Professional Disney Fangirl.
Yeah, I casted the game before where you played against them, and you did manage to win out that one with 2 maps, I believe. So, was it 2 or did it go to the 3? I can't remember.
I think we won like 4-2 on process.
Oh yeah, it was just one map, weren't it?
Yeah.
I've got a brain like a sieve. But as we wait for other people to join us, even though I do understand, obviously you guys have lost, but how did you feel overall with that? Do you feel like going into the next game that you'll do pretty confidently? I know, despite the result before, you are going against three maps against these guys. So do you feel like you're gonna be a lot more confident, or do you feel like this is gonna be a knock to your team's confidence?
No. I think like the real problem on Cardinal was the mid, essentially, because like when we're on last, it's really hard to repush because we have like such slow respawn and they have such fast respawn, so they can just like outnumber us and we're fucked. So we were on last like for as long as the game was.
And we've just been joined by Jon. How you doing, Jon?
Hi. Yeah, good actually.
Good.
Just
Well, we asked about how Olga's feeling about this. So how are you feeling coming out of that win?
Oh, on a high, honestly, on a big fat high. So satisfying. I'm satisfied with my team.
That's good.
Etc.
Well, something I'm curious about, because both teams used it quite a bit, and it's becoming really popular. I think the majority of Prem teams at this point do it, namely banners. We've seen both teams try different banners as well throughout the entire series. Elaborate on the banner theories going on here. I think that'd be interesting to some people.
Sorry, I was completely zoned out. What?
Oh, I was just mentioning how both of you guys were using banners.
Were you talking to me or just saying something in general?
You and Olga, basically. Like, both of your teams use banners. Olga specifically here use banners as well.
Yeah.
And, like, not everybody is, like, super keen on banners, but a number of Prem teams this season certainly are. And it's becoming more and more popular.
Olga, take it, because you're a soldier, and I'm
Yeah.
half asleep.
And like in every stalemate, like I'm a bit forced to take banner because if they do, then they have an advantage on us. So I guess it's a stalemate thing.
Yeah. That's all I got to say.
I'm trying to think about one certain situation, namely, I think on Snake it was, Velocity just pushed in for an Uber exchange, and solely that, everybody left quickly after that, and the moment the Ubers faded, Olga just popped his banner and pushed with that, and that was one of those interesting situations where the banner just comes into play really effectively, just post-Uber, but one team has just damage resistance where the other team doesn't.
Yeah, that is the interesting thing. Like, there's many ways to play banner. You can either like trade and then go with the banner, or you can like try to force with the banner. You can also do that. So yeah, it's an interesting like mechanic.
You can get very creative with those lovely banners. Still need to see buff banner in reaction.
I think Olga tried it a couple of times
Get
on,
some,
I think, Cardinal too, but it didn't really come to that too much.
I would have liked to see some mini crits.
Yeah, I personally run banner like when we're pushing last, and that's the only situation I run it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the bonus it does is like more, like 30% more damage and no damage follow.
Yeah.
So like random rockets across the map still deal 80 damage, which is great to just force an Uber really easily.
122, to be exact.
I think that's a direct only. Like
Yeah.
splash rockets obviously deal less. That's what I meant. But yeah, directs obviously deal a whole lot of damage. So it's really great to just force Ubers really safely and still have Yon on the far back. It's like almost having crits, except not quite.
You know, no one's perfect.
But yeah, that was interesting. Otherwise, the maps obviously were quite interesting. Basku won the last two Velocity winning product quite confidently as well. Yon, what needs to improve for product to not be going so unfortunately badly?
Oof, product. Right. That's a rough one. That's a rough one. Apparently, Crayon's just the best sniper in Europe. Who knew?
Debatable, but up there.
Oh, obviously, he's like, top 5. Lack of, I don't know, that vague, general, basic shit. Lack of chemistry, whatever. Lack of cohesion. Still, I guess, practicing as a team, because we've only confirmed this roster like 2 weeks ago, so we're still like, getting to know each other.
And on the topic of maps, obviously, I think the joke around like the entire TF2 scene is like every time stuff gets played for best of 3s, best of 5s, whatever, you're always going to see Process, Gully, Snake, but we only see one of these and 2 of them banned. So like neither of these 2 teams here too keen to play the super popular maps and taking more advantage of the less popular maps today. Kind of strange to see.
Yeah, the idea behind it was like, we were hoping that they would ban Cardinal, because we played well against top 5, like the other day. So the idea was like, either they're gonna ban Viaduct or Cardinal. And there was some kind of mind game, like, either of them didn't want to ban Cardinal, so I think we just played it.
Card was great. So weird.
Yeah, people complain about Cardinal, but it makes the map picking a little bit more interesting, as it seems.
If
If you already have a bad map that wasn't Sunshine last season, then oh boy, better learn Cardinal quickly.
I'll fill you in on something spicy. I was going through News's logs, and I didn't see Cardinal once. Didn't see it played once.
I think they played it before.
They played it like yesterday, maybe.
Yeah.
Apart from that, that's what I saw. And I was thinking, you know what?
Ooh, the smart counterpicks here.
Could catch off guard on this map, and I guess that's what we did. So
better make advantage of this before everybody starts swimming it.
But one little question. This is more for you, Jon. Is going back into Prem again. Obviously, you just said two weeks ago you organised your team together finally. How are you feeling for next season now you're in? Because obviously we don't. I personally don't want to see you guys at bottom of Prem again. Do you feel more confident this time?
Oh, we are playoffs. I'm so confident, honestly. Playoffs, top 4. Polygon and bot mode, they're going to destroy this season, 100%. Bus crew, what's that? Oh, sound, yeah. Just bus crew, getting, publicity, getting out there, becoming a proper team, not just a one-season team, and we're in our element right now. Yeah, confident for this season.
Alright, I have just one more thing, namely, it's summer season, well, it's almost summer at least, and that means LAN is around the corner. How's it with attendance for both of these teams? Obviously, one just recently got sponsored, so that might help. But Basco already is an accomplished LAN team.
We're going.
Oh, yes.
Accomplished LAN veterans.
With our t-shirts. See you there.
I can't wait for the Basco chance again.
Well, could I maybe get a Bus Crew #1 fan shirt, Jon?
Not
Do you make
biased
that
caster
happen?
again.
I'm not
Shaking my
biased.
face.
Maybe.
What about Velocity
Okay.
shirts?
We'll see how much.
Do those exist?
We'll see how much support we get. We'll probably put out a Teespring. Might put out a Teespring.
Ooh,
Spoilers.
spoilers. But
Easy
yeah,
money.
just mentioned before. Obviously, Olga, your team has now been sponsored by Velocity Esports. How did that kind of feel for the morale of the team getting say organisation coming forward wanting to sponsor you guys? Does that help in any way for sort of your attitude to the last few games?
I mean, for the mine elf, I don't know, but I think it's pretty cool, like, to be sponsored, and it's cool that they're trusting us to first not fold, and then do good result, like this season and for LAN.
Keen ambitions as well, I see.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well, best of luck in the next game, Olga.
Yeah,
Thank you.
one more chance to go. And with that, I think we're mostly done. So we're heading into shoutouts. Let's start with Grumpy.
With me? Oh god, I wasn't expecting me to be first. I thought you'd do the players first. I'm going to just par it on to Olga because I haven't thought of it. Olga, go for your shout-outs.
Okay. Well, first, shout out to my team, obviously. Shout out to Velocity Esports. Shout out to Ralph, because I really like this dude. And shout out to all the French community.
Okay,
hey,
and
Jon.
Fluo Ride. He better be in chat. Fluo Ride. Always been Merkin for us. Big Italian builder. Shout out to him. Shout out to anyone who likes buses. Shout out to I don't know, I63 Pipe. That's it for me.
all right, I've
Yeah,
got
you go
my
first,
I've got my shout-outs now. Gonna shout out to Smire. I saw he was in the chat earlier. Shout out to both teams that played. Congratulations to the Bus Crew again. Commiserations to Velocity. And shout out to Twitch chat. Thank you for watching, calling me out, or, the usual stuff. Oh, and Biscaro, because I love you. You're going to be my #1 fan soon. And yeah, I'm pretty much done.
Alright, with that, big thanks to the sponsors for this season, STN Trading and Scrap.tf. If you haven't seen them yet, check out the websites with those specific names. I think STN.tf is the proper link to STN Trading, and Scrap.tf is the link in itself to that website, and check them out. Really generous sponsors this season, helping out with a nice little prize pool to just incentivize these teams to try as hard as they can. And another huge shout out to Jazzbots for making a nice little new emotes we have on TFTV. If you're really broke or just really stingy like I am, if you have Twitch Prime, you can get these emotes for free. So do that, and with that, nothing much to say. I think there's a TF2 update on the line right now. I got a Steam message, or I got a system message. So enjoy whatever broken things will ensue with that, and we'll see you with Velocity versus professional Disney fangirls at some point later this week, most likely.
Shout out
Much
to
love,
Alba
everyone.
as well. Shout out to Alba for not being able to play it.